Good evening, everybody. We are live. Welcome to another edition, another episode of Never Mind the Buy Box. I am joined this evening by the amazing eight-figure Amazon seller that we've been talking about for some time. I am joined other way, pointing. There we go. Joined this evening by Mark. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Yeah, good. How's it going? It's been a while.
Very well. Thank you. So thank you so much for coming on and joining us. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while. So I know how busy you are and I know how precious your time is. So we really do appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us this evening. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to jump on and let Facebook send out the notification. Guys, as you're coming on, hi Caitlin. Hi, Janet. Can you give us a comment and a hello? Can you give us a like, a love? It just pushes out the notification to everyone. We seem to be on a little bit of a delay tonight. I think I'm working it out. It's about hi Seb, probably about a 30-second delay actually at the moment. So we'll just wait for that to kind of catch up. And then I've also got to find the video on here, which you would think I do this every week, and I do this with Elite Sellers Academy as well. So you would think I would know to go in and log into the video straight away. But let's have a quick look. Oh, no, I went live earlier, so I nearly went into that one. Oh, I can't see the video. Guys, I know most of you are on Facebook. Can you just confirm that you can? Oh, there we go. I can see and I can hear it now.
We're working now.
Yeah. Right. Good evening, everyone. Let's go through and say hello to everyone. Sue, Karen, Ruth, Tim, Julia, Cindy, and some of you are watching on YouTube tonight, which is good because I actually pressed the button to make sure that it was transmitting to YouTube, which is good. Hi, Ruth, Stephen, Dan. I think it's going to be a busy one tonight. We'll just wait for a few more people to jump up. Evening, Paul. Hi, Matt. Right, guys, just to get us going tonight, it's something that I have adopted the last couple of weeks. Just a bit of a question to ask you whilst we're just waiting for a few more people to jump on and join us live. And then we're going to dig into Mark's story and, you know, what has kind of driven him to build the business he's built today with selling on Amazon. As we know, over the weekend, the cross-border fulfillment removal orders got removed. And Amazon are no longer sending goods back from EFN sales or any cross-border returns. So I just want everyone to let me know in the comments whether or not you are still selling in Europe or not still selling after that change at the weekend. Has that affected or impacted your decision on whether or not to continue to sell in Europe moving forward until the end of the year? If you could just let me know in the comments, so either saying still selling or not selling, that would be good. So Simon says he is. Matt Webley's joined us. Evening. Hi, Janet. Hi, Harminda. Hi, Heather. James, Adaronke, Nikkei. So a bit of a mix from the comments that are coming in because I'll just wait for some of those comments just to dive in there. You only sell in the UK market. That's right, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Only in the UK.
So only sell in the UK, and
yeah, only in the UK.
And you do the figures that you do, but you only sell in the UK still.
Yep.
Is there any plans to? I mean, I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but just waiting for people to come in. But is there any plans to sell in the future European countries?
100%, but I'll do it from the specific country. So we'll do France from France. We'll do Spain from Spain. We call it figs. English, French, Italian, German, Spanish. That's how we look at it. So we'll do it from each country.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fair enough. I don't think I asked you that last time. I knew that you were selling in the UK only, and that was it. But yeah, it'd be good to know. But I suppose it's definitely all part of the expansion plan. Hi, Darren. Yeah, hi there. So let's have a quick look. Cindy says she never got a chance to sell in Europe. Not selling. It's about 50-50 by the looks of it. Some people still selling. People have switched it off this week. So it'd be interesting to see. I don't know if you did get a chance to watch the Amazon webinar earlier about selling in Europe, Mark, but it was an absolute minefield with the information and everything that people are going to have to do to sell in Europe moving forward. But I did do a live on it earlier, and that's what I wanted to let people know, because obviously I didn't want it to interfere with our, you know, kind of chat tonight, essentially. Normally I would have brought it up tonight, but I thought it'd be good to do it separately. But I didn't expect to do it because I didn't expect the information to be so complex, to be honest. So if you find my live video from earlier, if you want to watch, there's a bit of a summary of what the Amazon webinar was about today, about moving forward, what it's going to be like for selling in Europe. So Matthew Wright says, still continuing for now, but paperwork requirements post-Brexit may stop us. Absolutely. I remember having a conversation with Matthew a few weeks ago about selling in Europe and how it wasn't going to change his plans because he's pan-European registered. But after that webinar today, I just think, oh my God, there's a lot of paperwork. I know it won't stop you, Mark.
Unless you're killing it in the UK, what's the point in focusing on another country?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, do you know what? That's interesting. And that's a good place for us to start, actually, because from the conversations that I've previously had with you, you're very much along the lines of you absolutely have to dominate in one area before you move on to the next. Is that fair to say?
Be the best. There's too many people in the groups moaning about VAT and all these other things. Well, why complicate things and sell in Europe? Concentrate on the one thing, get it right, get it flowing, then spend your time elsewhere. If you're not doing 100k or 200k in the UK, why would you even look at France? Because you're buying, all the OAs and the RAs are buying English products. Don't complicate things selling in another country. Returns are an issue, VAT, charges. Just get the UK right. That's the first thing.
And is that, when you say get the UK right, is that because you feel that there's the most opportunity in the UK, or because in business you conquer closest to you first? You conquer the market that is most accessible to you first?
I just think you're going to run into less complications if you concentrate on your market.
Yeah.
There's lots of things people are probably not aware of. If you're selling specific types of products, there's different duties and rates, even within the European Union, MP3 players and so forth, digital pitch frames, blah, blah, blah. In the UK, you know the crack. You know your fees, you know the VAT, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Unless you can't physically sell any more of your particular product in the UK, there is no point selling in another market. Even for another €2, €3, there's just no point. It's not worth the extra interest stats, admin fees, running another Amazon account. It's just defocus. Unless you're doing volume, what's the point? There is no point. People will disagree with me. I'm sure they will. And I'm not saying I'm right, but from experience, we switched it off 3 years ago.
Wow. So you were doing it and then you switched it off?
Yeah, because it wasn't worth the hassle, exchange rates. There's loads of things to consider. And from an accounting point of view as well. Complicated accounts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? I think a lot of times when you go against the grain, and from my conversations with you, Mark, I can tell very much you do go against the grain in terms of what the mass kind of advice is with building a business. And sometimes when you go against it, it's so refreshing to hear somebody just say it as it is at the end of the day. And guys, there's going to be a lot of that tonight. And I'll just sort of say at the start, Mark's a very straight talker. So, but I think obviously that is something that has helped you build the business it has, essentially. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of straight talking and lots of excellent advice tonight. So, but we jumped a little bit ahead. So what I want to obviously give everyone a little bit of a feel for tonight is, you know, we're used to interviewing sellers on Never Mind the Buy Box. We've had people like Matthew and Matt come on who are very successful 7-figure sellers, and they've spoken about their journey. And I think what will be interesting for everyone is if we go back and we talk a little bit about how you got into Amazon and everything like that. But it's a different dynamic, obviously, becoming an 8-figure seller and how you become that and how you've achieved that. But spoiler alert, before we get started, I want this Never Mind the Buy Box and some of the other ones we've done with Matthew and Matt and everything to be inspirational to people. I don't want these to come across saying, well, I'm not doing 8 figures, so I better not, carry on. This is a case of an opportunity to ask Mark questions and find out a little bit about how he has built that business. And you started from very humble beginnings. It's not we had a little joke about this, it's not a Donald Trump story. You didn't get gifted a £1 million investment to start your business. So if you'd be so kind to take us back to the start and kind of talk us about the beginning and how you got started on this particular Amazon selling journey.
I used a credit card. It was one of them really terrible. I'm struggling to not swear, by the way, guys. So it might happen. So really crap aqua credit cards. Anyone can get one. If you can't get one, then you're worse than me. There's a time I couldn't even get one. 250 quid credit limit. That was it. 250 quid on a credit card. That's how we started.
Simple. So 250 quid to 8 figures.
Yeah.
You started around, was it about 15 years ago, something like that?
I need to think, but I remember PayPal wasn't used on eBay at the time. It was a thing called Bill Point. So if there's any really old sellers out there, they'll remember that. Maybe not in this group, but PayPal, I'm not sure whether it existed or whether it wasn't adopted on eBay. It was certainly before eBay bought them for obvious reasons. Obviously, eBay don't own them now, but it was Bill Point. No checks and whatever other methods. People was paying by check, had to wait for it to clear before we dispatched the stuff. We started on eBay, and we was doing a bit of buying and selling healthcare products that become more apparent now. I'll tell you a little story about that. And just bought some products from Tesco's. There's a couple of questions. Is Mark sitting in a big warehouse? I'm in my office. We've got lots of offices, and we do have a big warehouse. There is a radiator behind me, well spotted.
Yeah, I think it's the blinds, actually.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Kate says you can swear. You're all right.
So, no, basically, 250 quid, and we was buying lube, Durex lube from Tesco's when it was on offer 3 for 2, and that was cheaper than I could buy it wholesale. And my wife was heavily pregnant, so you can imagine her rocking up at the Tesco's. There was none of this self-service checkouts. 2 big baskets full of this 3 for 2 lube. Go figure. And just that is pretty much it. Made a lot of mistakes. Had some good wins. I think I told you this one, Natalie. This is going back, if anyone can remember when bird flu existed. We were selling 50 surgical face masks for like $4.99 for a box of 50. The true cost on them is about £1.15 from China for good, decent ones. So what happened was we was going to the cinema one evening. This is a bit later on down the line. And all I could hear was ping, 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 ping on my phone. So we pulled in. I looked at my orders and I said, we're going to need to go home. Because what had happened is bird flu had been announced on the BBC News website as an example. And everyone was just buying these face masks, panic buying. Like nothing like you've seen before. Nothing like this COVID and anything like that. I'm talking we was wrapping hundreds in bags. Remember when the couriers, stuff that comes in a bag through the courier, we was turning them inside out because we didn't have the cash to buy these bags at like 10-15 pence each. So we used to get them from the courier and we turn them inside out so it just looked like a black bag, seal it up, save some cash. Top tip there, guys. Can still do that today.
Oh, really? That is the top tip. And these lot, they do, they definitely like a good tip when it comes to saving packaging.
So what I then did the next day was I borrowed as much cash as I could and I contacted all of the manufacturers that I knew in the UK. I'll call them distributors because my background before that was buying procurement for healthcare. So I knew where to buy things like syringes and needles and face masks, and we've sold all of that, been there, done it. And I just bought all the stock I could because it was quick enough before they cottoned on to everyone calling in for these masks and stuff. So then we literally had a house full of surgical face masks. And then we was putting the price up, which is now technically illegal, price gouging, all this, that, and the other. We'll get onto that. But then we just selling them for like £10 a box, making, I don't know, about £6. But we was making like £1,000 a day easily just on this one thing.
Wow.
So
that was like right.
But that was a good little cherry, on the top.
Yeah, definitely. So that was right back at the kind of start. You were still on eBay at that point.
Yeah, late adopter to Amazon.
Yeah. So when did you kind of, because it was anything like me when I discovered Amazon, I kind of poo-pooed it at the start and thought, it's going to be rubbish compared to eBay. So you're going well, you're going on eBay. And when you were on eBay, were you doing that full time at that point? Was it your only source of income? Were you still working?
No, this is the best bit of advice I can give anyone. And because I made this mistake later on, do not quit your job. Carry on. You just have to graft through the night. Get up before work. Pack your orders. I've even because I only had a few lines, I've even pre-wrapped stuff, took it to work, and then on a lunchtime had a mobile Bluetooth printer, printed off labels to kind of get any orders, because it's the same product, and then instead of having a coffee, nip to the post office, drop them off, or leave them in reception in a raw mail bag where we used to have a raw mail collection. No one knew about it. Just keep your job, because later on we've become, I wouldn't say successful, but we was doing okay. We was making like $3-4 grand a month. And then everyone thinks, great, I've made it, order the Ferrari, blah, blah. When you then have to start spending that money for stock, because you've got no income coming in, it makes things really, really difficult, because that's money you could have continued. And even if you continue for 2 years, just stick with it. Keep building that. Don't, all this cash is king, bollocks. Stop. Keep buying stock, then you can sell it tomorrow. But keep your job as long as you can. Everyone wants to quit the job. They hate the work. They can do better, this, that, and the other. It's a means to an end. You can then go in a lot happier to work thinking, this is helping me build my business, because I'm living off that wage, and the money I'm making from this, I'm buying more stock, or I'm investing in a website, domain names, trademarks, whatever you want to do it. Don't make my mistake.
And that was, so you quit your job too early.
And then I had to go and take a job because my sales went down. So then I had to kind of consult. I went back and consulted for a good 4 years.
Wow. So it put you back that far?
It didn't put me back that far. It kind of delayed things. I had to reevaluate things. Kids on the way and stuff. And then I thought, you know what it is? I can work on an evening. I can work smart. And my partner can pack the orders when I'm at work. Simple. If you're in that situation. Yeah, Matt says content's king.
Yeah, I know. Just a little bit of a debate going on there whether cash is king. Hayden said it's funny.
Cash is not in this business, because what you're using your cash for, to buy stock. If you're buying anything else, you're in the wrong game. Yeah, cash isn't king. You need the cash to buy the stock. Yeah. You're not banking it for a rainy day, are you? Cash is king. If you're banking cash to wait for the market to crash, then go and buy a cheap house. Then cash is king. But then you're in the wrong game. If you're in the game of selling on Amazon, you need stock to sell. Yeah. Which will get me onto another little pointer. Stop whinging that you can only buy 3 items. Who was it in the group who said, oh dear, I can only buy 3 items. I'll only make £45 on these 3 items. It's £45 more than what you had 10 minutes before. Instead of wasting time on Facebook and all these sites, whinging on about it, buy another 3 more with another account, or find another way, or buy another 3 other products. Because that £45 times that by 365 divided by 12, it's a brand new bloody Audi on the drive for free.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I told you guys, Mark's very straight talking. He's going to tell you how it is. But just going back to what we were saying about, you started out doing your eBay, kind of set you back a little bit. Wish you stayed in the job a little bit longer. So now you're doing well on eBay, you're doing everything okay, and then you hear about Amazon. So what happened then?
Minefield. There was none of this Facebook, was there? Forums. Mark Webley will tell you. Me and Matt, we've got a very, very, very similar background.
Mm-hmm.
We went on slightly different paths. But he was lucky if he was on a bloody bulletin board or whatever. There was none of this live chat. Internet was kind of, there wasn't really internet as such. It was, I remember 2001 building one of these little crappy HTML websites and bulletin boards and stuff and forums and all that. None of this live chat, none of this advice. You can go on YouTube now and you can learn to build or fix or do anything.
Mm-hmm.
None of this. So Amazon was a minefield. So if you think Amazon's bad now and you don't care whether you turn over £1 or £1 million, it's exactly the same. It was even worse back then because they was kind of finding them their feet and they didn't have all these bots and stuff. So we almost quit, to be honest with you, because no one really knew how to do Amazon.
Mm.
Amazon didn't know how to do Amazon, did they? If we're honest, it's a warehouse full of stock, got a few customers, it starts going out. But then before you know it, it's a big thing. But it was, eBay is easy because you can do what you want. You can create different EAN. You can create this. You can do that. They're like 5 or 10 years behind Amazon.
Yeah.
But eBay has got some great potential. Great potential.
No, absolutely. I think a lot of people's eyes have been reopened to eBay because I think it's a very similar story with a lot of sellers started on eBay, moved to Amazon, forgot about eBay. And now a lot of sellers are rediscovering eBay because whether it's because they've been treated badly on Amazon or whatever. But that's an interesting point because we'll come on as we move through. But we've had this conversation before, whereas you're an 8-figure seller on Amazon, right? Yeah. And you don't get treated any different from anyone else, do you? No. This is just reassurance from the horse's mouth, guys, that Amazon treat everybody exactly the same when it comes to trademark infringements, IP claims.
I showed you my screenshot. I spoke to Matt about a month ago about another thing, threatening suspension. They don't give a toss what revenue they get from you because it's all about the customer, which is the right attitude in a way. It's frustrating as a seller. But Christ, even for me, it's Let's put it this way. I think I've got, was it 31 alerts or something at the minute on my account?
Yeah. Does it not? Now, here's an interesting thought, and I think I asked this to Matthew when he was on as well, but obviously yours is a much even bigger scale than Matthew's. Is that do you have trouble sleeping at night selling on Amazon? In the sense that, are you worried about being an Amazon seller at your level?
No.
Why is that?
We do everything right. We've got account managers within Amazon, so we've got that support there. I mean, we probably will get suspended because it happens, but we can deal with it. We can cushion that. But I've multiple accounts is always advantageous. There's mixed rooms out there, whether you can have them or you can't have them. You can have them under certain circumstances, but there's nothing stopping you having other limited companies in a totally different name, etc. Make sure it's all legal, above board, professional, exactly how you'd want it to be, because trust me, Amazon know. If you log in from an IP address, eBay's worse, they know. They know. So just do things right from the start. Trust me, I've been banned that many times from eBay for things that you wouldn't... Trust me, I've done all the tricks of the trade. Keyword spamming. These X products would look great in my Prada jeans. Wasn't even selling Prada jeans, but anyone who had Prada jeans, it would bring it up. Blah, blah, blah. You used to be able to list multiple times of the same product. So this kind of works now for the guys that are selling on eBay. If they've got the same product, lots of it. So you might sell it in a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 10. I was doing them in 6s, 12s, 24s, 36s, 48s, 72s, 96s, 144s, and I would list that volume 15 times another 15 times another 15 and change them slightly different. Slightly different products or with something free so that they couldn't penalize you for duplicate listing. And this is a thing I call coverage. So if you type in a keyword for Apple Mouse and there's like 55,000 listings on there. Well, if you've got 25,000 listings of Apple Mouse, you're going to be in around 50 or 40% of the search and the listings, basic. And if you've got an Anchor store, you don't even pay for it, do you? So you're not all this 30-day recurring fees. A lot of people should be taking advantage of that now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So obviously selling on eBay as well as Amazon, discovered Amazon. What was the point? You said that you went back and you did some consulting work. Now you're selling on Amazon as well. At this point, there's still no FBA, or there was FBA at this point?
It's
all merchant fulfilled.
Yeah, I've only done FBA in the last 3 years. Shock horror.
That is a shock horror.
It's a control thing. Webley will tell you about that. I like, you know what I mean? It's just how it is. But FBA is amazing. People again, merchant fulfilled's amazing as well. So Seller Prime. All these people that are going to Argos and buying fucking 3 of this and 4 of that, why send it into FBA?
Yeah.
What's the point for 4 or 5 units? There's no point. Just take the hit, take that, lose that extra pound or whatever, get it gone, get the cash in, go buy more stock.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about it.
You're definitely all about the fast turnaround and volume and getting it done and everything like that. So at that point, obviously, you're a huge MF seller as well, FBM seller. And so you're selling on Amazon, selling on eBay. What was that point? But at this point, when we're going back, you're still essentially doing RA at that point. Is it RA and OA? When was the point? Because obviously you haven't been, it's not an 8-figure. Let's make this clear. Mark's business has developed and it's evolved. It's not an RA business, although you still do like to do a little bit of RA, don't you?
Can't help it. I can't help
it. Yeah.
Now I can't be bothered if I'm honest with you. But I look when I'm in the supermarket, so any of the grocers or whatever, I'll see stuff and I think, do you know what it is? I can't be asked. It's like 1 or 2 items or whatever. But you know, I kind of look, everyone's a buyer, isn't they? At the end of the day, if everyone who's talking here are a bit of a buyer or whatever. Obviously, my specialism is procurement and buying. We can touch base on that. But I can't help myself. I was away camping with a few of my lads about, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. So we popped into Asda to get some cans and some food, bit of steak and stuff, bit of wild camping, and there's these Nerf guns in there, the big ones with the bullets that are like that, you know, take your head off. Not quick look on the old app there, bloody hell, 99 quid on Amazon, 17.50. Honestly, I filled half a minibus. That everyone's like looking at me, like the 3 lads I'm with, thinking this guy's an idiot. Do you know what I mean? And then I was trying to explain to him, but if you're not in this circle, people just don't know, do they?
No.
And, we sold them all for like 60 quid within like 3 days. This was only 6 months ago. I just couldn't help myself.
Yeah. I really don't think that you can ever lose. You never lose that kind of Del Boy-esque, because when it comes down to this type of business, you flipping products, essentially. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter what level you're, profit's profit at the end of the day.
For a pound, you're selling for 150, whatever. It's just at the end of the day, you're buying a product and selling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So started with RA, then you went into wholesale. So you went in traditional wholesale, but obviously your background before that was procurement, buying, legal contracts, that type of thing. So you obviously used your previous skill then to go from what standard kind of Amazon sellers, you took it to the next level beyond wholesale. And obviously I can't, with Mark, we can't go into loads of detail specifically about what he does. And I'll let him say what he feels, comfortable saying and what you don't feel comfortable saying. But obviously you did go through the traditional route of like OARA, wholesale, and then went into more partnerships, but it's not
my situation's not unique, but so we would do a bit of this and a bit of that. And then one thing people need to appreciate is what everyone struggles with is getting the same product regular. A lot of people are coming onto that. They're trying to track them down. Right, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. I should imagine everyone's struggling because as soon as you mention Amazon or eBay and this, that, and the other, a lot of people are not interested. But there are distribution out there, channels that you can buy from. But everybody's after the same piece of the cake, so to speak. So what I did was I took it to another level. I built the business so that the hardest thing is getting to 7 figures. That's the hardest thing. 100K, anyone can do 100K in anything. Window cleaning, you can do 100K. So just break it down, start at the beginning. I tell my guys, my junior buyers that come on, or traders, 10 quid a day. If you can't make £10 a day, then what's the point? Because £10 a day times 365 is good money. All you then need to do is double that. You can go and make a tenner, wash 2 cars, a fiver, a whip. So anyone who says they can't make £10 a day, just go away, basically. So, yeah, then just basically, one of the things I go by is get big, get niche, or get gone. So the next way to get big is to contact the manufacturers directly. What's the point in buying from distribution? And I appreciate it's not easy buying from manufacturers, but it is doable. It can be achieved. There's ways to do it. So going from 1 million to say 5 million is a lot easier than going from 0 to 1 million or even 500K. And these figures sound big, but they're not big. Look how big Amazon and eBay is. I know 8-figure eBay sellers. In fact, and
yeah, that's really interesting. We have this.
I know a guy who does probably 25 million on eBay.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because you're the only 8-figure seller I know, but you know dozens and dozens of other 8-figure sellers.
Oh, I'm just tickling at it compared to some of these guys.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And I think sometimes we are limited by our own, I don't know if it's self-belief or I don't know if it's, what we think is capable, what we don't think is capable. And guys, this is the main reason I wanted Mark to come and speak to you tonight. It's not about me saying to you or anything like that, oh, this is entirely possible and you'll be able to do it next year. Mark will tell you this is hard work, this is graft, but it's a bit like the 4-minute mile. Once you know it can be done, or once Roger Bannister broke that 4-minute mile, once you know it is possible, then opportunities can start opening up to different ways. Yeah. So you're going from, like wholesalers, then you made that jump to speaking to manufacturers themselves. And we talked about this previously. You can't go to these people with the same old, hey, I'm an Amazon seller, kind of cap in hand. You got to go to them with something different. You got to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, you can't rock up neither using a Gmail account. I mean, guys, you need to stop that. All these people that are emailing me and texting me and stuff, and they're using Hotmail accounts and Gmail accounts, and just don't do it. I mean, that's the first thing. I don't even reply to things like that anymore. And it's not being rude. It's just the amount of emails and stuff that we get. There comes a point where you have to kind of you got to focus on your own thing. But there's just some basic things to get in touch. But a manufacturer, you've got to add value. You can't go, oh, well, I sell on Amazon. I'm really good in this, that, and the other. Go, well, so what? I supply Amazon. I know, but there's a bit more to it than that. You need to start at distribution level and wholesale level. But you need to stop whinging about VAT and stuff like that. If you're whinging about VAT, then what's the point in thinking about being a 7-figure seller? Because you need to be VAT registered. If you're paying VAT, you're making money. It's as simple as that. You're just restricting yourself at 85K. Not interested. 85K, you'll be doing that in a day if you pull your finger out your ass. Do you know what I mean? It's just a case of, it sounds like
but we did also talk about this the other way as well, and it's finding where you want to go in your business, because one thing you've been really good at is kind of visualizing where you want your business to go. And we had this conversation as well because it may not have just sounded it, but Mark, you're fully on board with that. If someone does want to stay below the VAT threshold and it works for them and it's just the extra kind of lifestyle,
you can do 85, 90K, whatever the VAT limit is exactly, and make 50 grand. Well, I'm sorry, but that's a bloody good job. Stay below the VAT. Yeah, crack on. If that's what your aim is and that's what you want to do. I'm not knocking the VAT thing, But I keep getting all these people, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. Well, you ain't going to do it on 85 grand turnover.
No. And you've got to think big. And this is the difference. And I remember when you said this to me when we spoke about it, it's when you first made that transition, you were placing orders knowing that you would probably either lose money on them or sell them just really? In order just to get in with the wholesaler, get in with the manufacturer. You were taking those big chances that sometimes people aren't prepared to take.
Well, I've spent millions on a deal. Not for me. Well, in fact, I have actually when I've worked for other firms and stuff in the past. But let's put it this way: if a manufacturer comes to you with a problem and you look at the deal and you go, "I ain't gonna make any money from that," I'd do it because guess what? I've got an account open with them. I'm trading with them. I'm talking to them. I've done what others can't do. Mm-hmm. So all these, we'll talk about penny pinchers later. I'll fucking put people straight on that, right? So with regards to like these deals, you're not going to make money on every deal. Move on. Stop crying about it. So what? What do you expect if everyone's buying from the same stores? Mm-hmm. Be smart. Hold on to the stock. List it at a higher price. It's not going to cost you any money to list it at a high price, and you might get 5% of that buy box at that high price or whatever, or sell it on another marketplace, or keep the stock till next year, whatever. Don't keep whinging about penny prices and all this, that, and the other. There's a reason why it happens. A lot of guys are not switched on. They're probably not even making money, don't realize it, or guess what? Suck it up. They've probably bought it cheaper than you, not from Tesco's or Asda. So that's one thing that really bugs me in the groups is, oh, well, whatever. We'll move on. Smart money, clever money. Just buy more stock. Spread your stock. Go deep or go high, whatever they say. Me, I'll just buy as much as I can of the same products and I'll make it work. So if there's a manufacturer I want on board, then they ask you questions like, well, what's your margin? Well, it's whatever. We don't really look at it like that, blah, blah, blah.
No. Is there any deal? What's the deal that you won't do? When's enough? When is it like when you can't see the bigger picture?
I'll make 10 pence on something, but I might be doing 3,000 units a week, and that 10 pence is after all my costs. Them 10 pences add up. I mean, I don't, but that's just an example. But I've got products where you make £5 a whip, some you make £1, but you do 1,000 in a week, whatever. The point is people get too strung up on what's the ROI, what's the cash margin, because you can buy something for £100 and sell it for 200. You've made £100, or you could buy something for £1 and sell it for 10. And they go, oh, the ROI is much better. Well, I'd rather have the £100 profit than I would the £9 profit. Mm-hmm. But they're like, oh, I've made 90%. Who cares?
Yeah. So now that obviously, I know you're still very, very hands-on to your business, but let's let everyone know. By the way, everyone is loving the straight talking, so everyone's loving that. I did warn you guys. I did say that this was, and Matt did as well. But I think everyone's liking that. Matt says, Matt, we need to make sure this is listed as non-family friendly on YouTube. I tell you what, I've seen some of my son's YouTube videos and the stuff that they say in that's crazy, and that's supposed to be for kids. But yeah,
I apologize about the swearing. I mean, my finance director, she's not happy about it. I don't. It just, you know what it is? It just happens. It's just one of them things. But what's the point in like putting a spin on it and all pretending to be some kind of whatever?
No, absolutely. And I said that to you earlier. I said, I want you to be yourself because you have achieved what you have through the relationships that you've built, and you deal with, without giving anything away, you deal with some big.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, what you need to do in business, and it's like in life, innit? Mm-hmm. You have to adapt yourself to who you're speaking to. I mean, I've dealt with guys from South Korea, Samsung. I mentioned that. There's not many manufacturers I've not worked with over the years, blah, blah. Let's put it this way. You dress slightly differently and you don't swear. It's one of them things. And maybe the first time of meeting a particular organization or manufacturer, until you can suss out the relationship on how these people are, that's how you then adapt yourself. But that's how you have to adapt your businesses as well. You have to keep changing the products. Like, I can't keep going on about Argos and all these places everyone's buying from. There's a lot more places to buy from. Think outside the box. Stop being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got no time. Well, fucking get up earlier then. Don't tell me you've got no time and you've been on your phone for 6 hours and it says your screen time. Just get up. Just do it. Because I tell you what, if you're doing the deals on Boots or whatever it is these people are doing these days at 5 o'clock in the morning, I guarantee it, 95% of the other people are not.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the price changes change at the early hours of the morning, and that's a fact.
Yeah. And so obviously we talk about Argos and Tesco and all the places where people tend to source from now. How do they make that step? How do they identify what's going to, give them, not give them, sorry, that's the wrong word, but how can they move away from the more traditional styles? What did you do?
Sorry, in what aspect?
Because you started in RA, you went to Wholesale. So how did you identify the people? I take it you went into Wholesale, you discovered the products through Wholesale and then just contacted the manufacturers?
Get yourself on LinkedIn. Give yourself a good profile. Just listen. Portray yourself in the right... Act like a 50 million... So this is the thing we're now doing, is we're now going through this whole rebranding piece and this, that, and the other, because we fly under the radar of what we do. We don't sing and dance about what we do. Manufacturers like it. But there comes a point now where we want to be a brand. So you need to make yourself look like you are a £10 million or £20 million business. Nothing's stopping you having a domain name, a proper email address, potentially a limited company, a VAT thing. We can talk about all this finance stuff. I know it inside out. I can't give financial advice for the obvious reasons, blah, blah. But the point is you can make yourself look bigger than what you are. But emailing doris57@hotmail.co.uk, because that's the Hotmail address you've had for 20 years, that ain't going to help. It's just going to go delete. So what I did was I got myself on LinkedIn, created a profile, did all the usual stuff. But guys, every product you pick up, there's the name and address on the back of every product you can pick up. I mean, don't go trying to get on the likes of PepsiCo. It ain't going to happen. Maybe when you're a 20, 30 million pound business, because these guys are like 70 billion pound businesses and they've got a lot of people to get through and they've got a lot of strategy. So look at the smaller guys. Look at, I don't know, a smaller brand who's in competition with PepsiCo as an example, who doesn't have an Amazon presence. Explain to them why they should be using you and not Amazon. Why shouldn't, and this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you've also got to develop a bit of a thick skin, because you're definitely going to get more no's than yeses.
You won't even get a no with these guys. So I won't worry about on a thick skin. They're just not even going to respond to you. It's as simple as that. I mean, let's not piss about. I mean, if you get a reply, then you're there. If you get in front of them, then that's your chance to nail it. You've got it in the bag. I say that now. Get me in front of them. They're coming on board with us. Simple as that.
Yeah. And I think you can see why, guys, at the end of the day, because we talked about this the other day, and we talked about, obviously you're an 8-figure business. You've got massive, massive aspirations for your business moving forward, because, you're not stopping here. You are going, kind of 9 figures is obviously, the next goal for you. I know that sounds obvious.
Yeah. You know what it is?
A gap between 8 figures and 9 figures, though, isn't there?
Yeah. And we'll do it, because
I know you will.
Some of the partners we deal with, I'm talking billions in turnover. I'm not just talking Bob Smith's Wholesalers does a few million quid. I'm talking massive brands. And all you need, so this is the same for the guys starting out. 10 quid a day. If you can do 10 quid a day, you can do 20 quid a day. Then if you can do 40 quid a day. And that's the same as you get bigger. Someone asked the question, I don't know there's Chris Carter's joined. Spoke to Chris a little bit. Who else have we got?
Everyone's saying about the sweat. What was the question? Was it about was it margin or what model did you start with? What you doing now? No, we've covered that.
Where we
are. Do you do private label? How many SKUs? And are you doing consumables? Was it that one?
Right. So, okay, let's just backtrack a bit then. Guys, this is not scripted. This is just, I'm doing a favour for Matt and Natalie. There's no prep. I forget things all the time of like what we've done, how we've done it, and what we're doing. Private label, we don't do.
No.
I'm going to be doing it.
Yes.
It's easier to do private label when you're not relying on that as an income because you've got other areas to focus in. If anything, I'll use some of the money from that to develop my private label. So none of this bullshit, hey guys, fucking sell a water bottle. Forget all that nonsense. You know, no one cares. You're just going to burn your money. There's lots of products out there. Lots of products out there. Don't go for all the same crap that everyone's pitching on YouTube about private label. Not interested. So private label should come when you're comfortable in your business, you're paying all your bills, you're generating extra profits, you've got plenty of stock, in my opinion. And I've not even started doing that yet. I've got an idea. The biggest problem is I don't have the time for it right this moment. So I'm probably going to employ somebody to kind of work on that and deal with it. But that costs money to do that. So it might cost you 10, 20 grand or whatever just to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
What I like about private label is no one's going to jump on your racing as long as you've gone through the right procedure, trademark and all this other stuff. Very simple stuff. It's 175 quid for a trademark. And then onto private label. Consumables, yeah. Guys, you need to be buying. There's no point selling a 55-inch TV because they ain't coming back for it, are they? They're not coming back.
Mm-hmm. So I know you sell a lot of
TV remote because they're going to keep buying batteries from you, aren't they? Those are the kind of products you need to be thinking about. Light bulbs. There's a good idea, guys. Huge market for light bulbs on Amazon. I'm not doing it yet. I will be soon.
There's your light bulb moment, literally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so talk to us a little bit about your team. Obviously, you've built this huge business. I know you're really hands-on in the business because we were talking about like COVID stuff earlier, and you literally have had like an attack of staff with COVID and everything. And the last few weeks yourself, and this is why you still keep such a hand in your business because you have to get involved and do packing and things like that, don't you?
Yeah, we've got everybody who starts, whether you're the finance director, the sales director, whatever, right? Everybody, we live by this. Everybody's an order picker first because no one cares. If there's like all of a sudden the systems have gone down or whatever, and there's a ton of orders, I tell you what, everyone's down there packing orders because that is all that matters on the day is the orders going out. We do a 4-on-4 off shift system now. We get collections on a weekend, and because you come in on a Monday and you've got Saturday evenings orders. So when we wasn't having a Saturday collection, Friday evenings, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, plus whatever's coming in Monday, you know, they're like £50 million days. You know, you just cannot physically do it, and you can only employ so many people on the shop floor. And obviously with COVID restrictions now, so we've done a 4-on, 4-off shift system. And what we'll do is we'll grow the 4-on, 4-off shift system, and then we'll maybe do it on an evening as well. So we've got 24/7 packing because that's the way it's going. Everyone wants everything before they've even bloody ordered it. Yeah.
And that's what we spoke about again last week, was when you were saying about the fact that I think I asked you, well, I'll ask you now, what has kind of put you in this position? And your response was, at the time, it was your processes that you've put in place.
Yeah, trial and error, process, we call it test and adjust here. That's what I mean, like people just buying stuff and whinging about didn't make any money. You don't make money on everything. If you've made money throughout the month, guess what? You've made money. It's as simple as that. The amount of money we've invested through trial and error and mistakes and a bit of luck on a few things, but we've learned from it as well. What products sell why? So the guy, whoever asked about consumables and stuff, absolutely. We don't just sell consumables. We sell products that go in. So you have the physical product and a consumable product as well. So think about that as well. How can I get people buying more? See the subscribe and save? We're all over that. All over that.
Yeah. And then you spoke a little bit about the, you know, not just lightning deals or anything like that. When you're at your level, you're not interested in lightning deals. You're interested in a different type of thing on Amazon.
Here's an ironic thing. Paying Amazon to deal with Amazon issues, this SAS program that we're part of and stuff, it's really good. It's like £5 grand a month, but it's really good. You get access to a lot of stuff that I can't I shouldn't really discuss, but it's
go on.
So
Give us a tip.
Having an account managers are good, but everyone does a daily deal and a lightning deal. What about a daily deal on the front page? We get them. I've shown you some screenshots of things, other things you get, you get privileged to, and this, that, and the other. But as you get bigger, there's more money out there. There's more pots. There's more things. I'm not saying Amazon gives us any money, because they don't. In fact, it costs us more than what it costs you as a normal seller. But when we started, we didn't have nothing. I mean, we have water delivered at work and stuff for staff. That would have never happened. It costs money. But now it's one of them things that just happens. But again, it's investing in your business and the people and the tools, and using people that are better than what you are for these things. Learn the process. But same with eBay as well. I mean, we have deals of the day and all this, that, and the other. Account managers, you have agreements with them. You have legal contracts. It's not just a case of opening a normal store and selling. It's a strategic thing. You become a big seller. I'm also on Amazon now. Even if you're a 100K seller, Amazon are knocking on your door. Can you sell in this country? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do that? And they genuinely are. Everyone says that. Listen, I have more pain than most sellers on Amazon and my team, but Amazon genuinely do care about their 3P sellers. They do. 100% they do. It doesn't seem like it, and I can't believe it, but they do care. It's just hard.
So because obviously you started out, you've gone from 0 to 6 figures, 6 figures to 7 figures, 7 figures to 8 figures. At what point in your business, at what point did you think, right, this is serious now? This is, because there must have been, when you started with the 250 quid, I mean, I know you, I've got to know you a little bit. So maybe you did think this, who knows? Could you have ever visualized that it was going to turn into an 8-figure business? And if not at the point, what was that point? When exactly was it in that business that you thought, shit, I'm going to jump on board now with the swearing. Shit, when this is going to happen for me, I can really scale this.
What it is, so one thing I've never done is I've never treated this as my business. We're building a business together, and we don't have any staff rotation. Everyone's happy. Everyone's paid really well. And then when you start employing people, in fact, biggest issue in life, people, business and people, is, I tell you what, yeah, guys, just stick to 85K. Don't VAT register. Don't employ anyone. I tell you what, it's a nightmare. But no, when you start getting people involved, you need to be accountable. Everyone's accountable to everybody, and it just clicks. There comes a point where you're turning over X amount of revenue, and then all it is a case of adding on another product, another product, another product, another product, and before you know it, you're at £1 million. But £1 million seems a million miles away, but it's never been so easy. Never been so easy. Appreciate you can't do £1 million walking into Smith's or whatever. But I actually saying that, I think you can. You need to do what I did years ago. Everyone's like, oh, I'm pals with the guy at Smith's or whatever. No, what you do is you tell him to order stock in for you. What's coming on promotion? Oh, we've got these, I don't know, Paw Patrol things or whatever, yeah? Top tip. Cool. Get us 50. Here's the cash up front. He looks like a legend to head office because they've sold so many of this, that, and the other. Nowadays, they're starting to get a bit more challenged because the manufacturers are like, hang on a minute, how come you got one traction going through? Because it's all getting controlled and it's getting tighter. But listen, don't go in there and tell them to keep stock back. Tell them to buy your stock in. Yes, I want 50 Monopolies or whatever it is you're buying, or Barbies when they're on 3 for 2. Tell them you want a pallet full. Concentrate on that one SKU if need be. Some people disagree. But you know what it is? It takes the same effort to list one product and sell them all through instead of listing 100 throughout the night, different SKUs, making £1 on each. Just make one killer listing on that 100 items or whatever, and then you're laughing.
I think I'm probably going to ask the wrong. I'm a bit scared of the answer that you're going to give here, but I want to ask you this question because I think you'll give an honest answer. But do you think too many Amazon or eBay sellers or people in this area of work, do you think they make it too hard work for themselves?
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I think too many people are pissing about. I piss about myself even now, and I'm getting better. But just don't think about it. I mean, I know it's scary if you borrow money off a credit card. What's the worst case scenario? Pay a bit of interest, make the minimum payment. Are you serious about it or not? Or don't do it until you've saved up £1,000 or 500 quid. But be prepared. I might lose that 500 quid. But guess what? I haven't lost 500 quid. I've gained 500 quid's worth of knowledge. You can't learn this shit at uni or college. You've got to do it. Don't be afraid. But yeah, Connect 4. Someone posted about Connect 4. Oh, I've lost £1 on each unit. How many did you have? 5. Fucking hell. I spend more than that on a cheeseburger. What you whinging about? You've learned not to buy Connect 4 at that price. You've learned the process. You've picked it, you've packed it, you've shipped it, you've sent it in. And then you just forgot about the VAT, have you? It's simple as that. Be organised.
Sorry, I'm still laughing about the cheeseburger comment.
It's true though. It's like this is the other thing as well. Oh, I made 55 quid last week doing RA. Cool. How many hours did you do? Oh well, about 40. Well, you'd have been better off in McDonald's flipping burgers and saving that money till you had a decent chunk of change to go and buy it. And guys, when I say this, right, it's because I've made the mistakes. I see it all the time. It's not me being a dick. It's factual. It's not rocket science. But you've got to value your time as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you paid 55 quid, but how many hours? How many hours? You'd have been better off washing cars. You're in the wrong game. Or you're buying the wrong products, or you're not buying enough of the same products.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think the cheeseburger comment has hit everyone because we're on a little bit of a delay. So I'm seeing a lot of those laughs now. So obviously you've got to this level now, 8 figures. And we spoke about this a little bit as well, that what has been the main contributing factor to your success? What has taken you from standard Amazon seller to not the next level above that? What has been the main contributing factor to that success?
Well, apart from the obvious, I mean, let's just play bullshit bingo and start crossing off all the keywords. But seriously, structure. But I tell you what it is. You got to graft. And I don't mean graft as in you can be down the mine for 12 hours a day. Not that kind of grafting. You got to think with your head. But my problem is I like I say, I get involved in too much stuff. When I started getting structure and people doing the specific jobs, so I could do my job and focus on my thing. And Webley will tell you, I'm still not there that now. I'm building a team of super people, and that they just employ people that are better than you in their specific jobs. It doesn't really work in this industry, what we're doing, because it doesn't really exist. And that's one of the things. There's a shortage issue. You can't learn this stuff at college or university. Oh, I did a business admin course. Woohoo. Do you know what I mean? Who cares? Doesn't mean nothing. Can you list on Amazon? There's like listing on Amazon and listing on Amazon. There's selling on eBay and there's selling on eBay. When I started like drilling into them, so you really need to be on your numbers. What did it cost? Right. So you need to start pretending you're VAT registered, even though you're not. Take your sell price, minus the VAT, minus your postage, your fees. And I've got like 10 different costings. Then that's my actual true margin at the bottom, if it does sell at that price. Mm-hmm. And then you go, okay, I've made £1.50 on that, right? How do I make 500 quid on that SKU? How many do I need to sell at this price to make that, this, that, and the other? So then you need to start forecasting, planning, structure. So we're past $1 million now. So we're at $1 million, if we say. Then you need to start getting this into place. So you need to go backwards to go forward. So you need to start spending any profits you've got on more stock, racking systems, machines, people that are going to generate. Then when you get to doing like 5-6 million quid, all of a sudden you're employing people just to answer fucking messages on Amazon and eBay because you're getting that many coming in. So that's taking you back because all of a sudden you've got these costs that you didn't even think about that's going to happen. Then before you know it, you need a guy who's just on a forklift all day, every day, unloading lorries. You didn't need a forklift guy before. All of a sudden you do. So therefore you need to look at your costs again and factor that in. Mm-hmm. £1 million, you could probably do it. I reckon I could do that. just buying from stores.
Yeah. And then
And
that's when,
if you've not got the cash, build the cash up, keep the job, borrow some money. I don't recommend that because it could go Pete Tong. You don't want to,
yeah,
or whatever. But do you know what? Get rid of your fucking stupid cars that you're driving around in that are costing you 600 quid a month, and buy yourself a little van. Do you need that van? Do you need that? Do you need that? Do you need that direct debit? Or you want to make serious money, or you want to be self-sufficient? Because you're just eating away. You're earning. You need to look at it. How do you want to do it? Right. Okay. I want to make 50 grand. Cool. Stay under the VAT limit. Carefully pick the products you're going to sell, because obviously you want to keep your turnover down.
Yeah.
Got nothing wrong with that. But the guys that speak to me are against being VAT registered and this, that, and the other. You cannot scale without. But if you only want to make 10 or 20 quid a day, because you've got a really good job and it's a bit of fun, and you're paying for your BuyBook Pro app and all these little things within your little business, and you're still making 20, 30 quid a day, it's 900 quid a month. Use that to buy your little Audi A3. You've got a free car for just doing a bit of RA. So you've got a reason to do your little bit of RA and stay below the VAT limit. But if you want to hit 7 figures, you need to buy stock.
Yeah.
Don't be buying shit you don't need. Do you actually need that 50 quid t-shirt? Or do you want to buy 50 quid's worth of 3 for 2s from Boots or whatever? It is as simple as that.
Do you believe, because I made a YouTube video about this recently, because a lot of people say, oh, I've lost money because I bought this and the price has gone down or anything like that. And I went into details. I think a lot of people do lose sight of it, that, you know, stock is a tangible asset at the end of the day. You don't lose money unless you sell it. You know, it's an asset. So when it comes down to actually looking at your stock and looking at those elements, when do you get to a point where you'll look at something? I suppose you may not do this yourself directly, where you say, right, it's hanging around too much, we got to get rid of it. When do you make that decision in your business?
No, I stockpile. I'd rather have stock in the warehouse than cash. I mean, don't get me wrong, the products that I sell don't really lose money. Some of them have a shelf life, but I don't be too scared to get out of a bum deal as well, as quick as you can. Depends what it is. Just get rid, move on. If you still made money in that month, I only made 100 quid. Well, you didn't lose 200, did you? It is as simple as that. You've still made money in that month. And guess what? It's incremental to your job, because it's that you're not relying on that as your income. But when you start buying consumer electronics and things like that, you need to be thinking, here's another top tip. Some products can go wrong. So you get returns, or they become faulty within the 2 years. Stay away from it in the early days. Why do you want to sell 100 quid speakers and get 3 or 4 wrong? Because people whinge and cry on these groups as it is. Because, I've got a return. Of course you're going to get a return. Factor that in. So let's use speakers as an example, right? You've bought 100 speakers at 100 quid each. Well, why don't you cost them on the system at 110? That 10 quid on 100 speakers covers for any returns you've got coming back. Or why don't you buy 110 speakers and buy 100 speakers, but cost them as if you bought 110 speakers?
Yeah.
So you've got buffer stock. Keep them to the side. So you've not factored them in. So then when the one goes faulty, it's not coming off your stock. You just send it out. Just send it out. Don't worry about it. Don't start with.
Absolutely. And I say this, and I've been saying this, and it's so nice, and it's so it's good to have it validated. I've been saying this for quite some time now, actually, that anyone that's doing this business, you've got to look at it. You've got to run it as though John Lewis runs their business. At the end of the day, they don't get exactly £5 profit for every single item they sell. Some they'll lose, some get stolen, some goes down as breakage, some's faulty. Some they'll sell at 100% ROI, some they'll sell at 20%. It's very rare that any business in the world that sells exactly the same money, or profit level or whatever, every single sell. Sometimes you have to get out of bad deals, absolutely. But sometimes, if you know what you're doing, you can also look at it and say, no, this is worth me keeping. This is worth me hanging out. But the important thing is you've got to make a decision. You've got to make a decision on the information that you've got. So that doesn't change at whatever level you're at.
Write it off if need be. Some tax allowances, whatever. Speak to your bookkeeper or your accountant. But at the end of the day, if you spent £5,000 on stock, let's forget about VAT and all these other things. You've sold it all and you've got £7,000 in the bank. You've made £2,000. Move on. So what if you've had to refund a few things or a few things are damaged? That's just life. You're concentrating on the wrong things. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. Fuck, I used to take every negative feedback and every arsehole pretending they've not got it personal. I don't now because I factor it in. I know there's a lot of idiots out there. Every single product that comes into my warehouse, if it costs me £1, it costs £1.25 on the system. All those 25p's add up to a lot of money. That covers me just going refund, 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 block, refund, claim from Royal Mill, whatever, move on. No one cares. When you're in the bigger picture, it doesn't matter. So this is like when you've got that freedom to do that. As I say, we didn't even have the cash to buy water. We didn't buy water. You know, that's what you got taps for. Now we have water delivery.
Let's make it clear. Obviously, Mark's talking about his business and the stage that he has now, not if you've just literally opened an Amazon seller account and, you
should still do that as an Amazon seller account. So you're new to Amazon, you've bought it for £1, do the costings, add little things on.
Oh, no, sorry. I meant, not caring about refund customer or something like that.
Call it a provision. I call it a provision. You've made a provision. You might not use all of that provision because you might not need to use all them 25 pences up that you've put aside.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've maybe like jumped ahead a bit farther, but I think guys just need to just buy some stock. Don't moan about it. But honestly, 100k, it sounds a lot, but when you break it down per day, that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It's not a lot of money.
Ray just says, "Don't disagree with." I wasn't disagreeing with him. I was just like re-elaborating at that point.
Yeah, if you've obviously got more revenue.
I disagree with Mark at the end of the day.
A bit, yeah. I agree.
No, totally.
But literally, we look at every penny, even now. Every penny. Where can we get value? Where can we increase our storage space? Does it mean spending X on a mezzanine? Whatever. Right. So let's just go back. So I started off packing orders on a kitchen table. Blah blah blah. We used to have to walk up the stairs sideways because we'd have stock up the stairs. Then my point being with all this is build a shed. That's what I did. Keep your costs down. Keep your job. Build up some cash. Build up your stock. Stock or cash is the same thing, unless you want to buy a house.
I'll tell you what, this will be music to Sean Paul Gilbert's one of our regular contributors and a big part of the group. This will be literally music to his ear because he's building sheds in his garden. He's got big aspirations for his business. So this will absolutely work for him, 100%. What was the hardest point in your business, Mark? Was there at any point where you were like, do you know what? This ain't worth it. I'm gonna give it up. It's not for me.
I've never thought like that. Some days I thought, Christ, if I was consulting or if I was doing this for somebody else, guarantee my money, whatever. But I've done some big deals like for other people. Before obviously we did this. Hardest part is you've got nobody. There's no one out there. Who knows how to do this stuff? Not many. People have been a bit lucky. You hear this odd story, don't you, where the guy stole his mum's credit card and all that shite, and he bought some scooters from China, and all of a sudden he's selling 10,000 a day. Or I made my money selling like water bottles and all that crap they come out with. It's hilarious. But the hardest part is you've got nobody. You literally, there's no one teaches this stuff. You gain your experience by making your mistakes, learning. Stick with Amazon and eBay. Read up on all these policy changes. Things happen and change over the last 10 years on eBay and Amazon. They're making it so much easier. Like I said, we didn't have any of this. There's so much free content out there. There's people to speak to. There's some good courses. There's some bad courses. just get advice, but just buy some stock. Let's just say you bought let's say you bought 500 quid worth of stock and you just had a stab at it. Start with eBay and it sells and you make 100 quid. You take the missus out for dinner and you got 50 quid left. You got 550 quid to buy in stock. Then you got 700. Then you got 800. Before you know it, you're so rammed, but you're not going to quit your 40 grand job because you might as well pay Bob, to come in and pack orders for like 3 or 4 hours from your 20 foot by 10 foot shed you've built instead of getting a unit. Delusions of grandeur. Don't go building and taking on leases and units and all this, that, and the other. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Absolutely.
You can do £1 million from your house.
Yeah, no, I totally believe you can.
I've been on the phone, sat here on the phone, chatting shit, giving it all the spiel, going on about bedroom bandits, selling, I don't know, whatever from the bedrooms. And you know what? Guess what? I was in a bedroom that was the size of a broom cupboard. They didn't know that. Because guess what? It wasn't Bobby Does Dallas at hotmail.co.uk. I was like, whatever at whatever. And like, oh, okay.
No, I'm so glad that you brought up that phrase because this absolutely cracked me up when Mark said about this. So just tell me what a bedroom bandit is. Tell everybody what a bedroom bandit is. This absolutely cracked me up.
It's just someone who just sells on eBay from the bedroom, innit? Then maybe they'll go into the shed, whatever. But I'd be on the phone to suppliers and I'd be like, yeah, another one of these bedroom bandits. And I'm thinking, I'm sat in a bedroom. I'm a bandit. I'm not some big PLC or whatever. And it's about, but listen, what you can't do, you can't get these guys on board. They give 100% transparency at some point.
Yeah.
Big yourself up. I mean, we've built our business on integrity, transparency, and an open book policy. And that, I've been open with you. I've shown you screenshots. None of this is nonsense. It's just how we like to do business. We're not going to go into the minor details with like just anybody, but you can't say you can do this, that, and the other and then not be able to deliver because you just can't do that.
And that's an interesting point, actually, because we talked about this. Obviously, your business is growing and growing and growing. And I've got no doubts whatsoever, if we're all still around here in 3 to 5 years' time, that you're going to be at a completely different level again. Because I know that your strategy and your business is to get to that point. But we were talking about, the people that you deal with and getting an opening with them. And I asked you the question, and I said about, you obviously had to at some point, they were probably their supplier was like an even bigger really than you were at this stage. And it's this whole kind of fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yeah, really professionally.
But professionally, that's what I mean. So there is an element.
You do 100K, you do 200K. You've not told them that's in dollars, have you? You're bending the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
and that's what
you've got to be able to deliver. You've got to trust, but you've got to be good. You've got to be good because there's not anyone can sell on Amazon.
Yeah, but there's always an opening. I think that's what I'm trying to get to is you never see it as there's not an opening. You always, even if they're dealing with $100 million or a $200 million or pound business or whatever, you will go in at that point and you'll say, look, we can do this. You have to be able to offer them something. And then more importantly, you have to deliver on it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You need a bit of luck as well. But I mean, guys, don't worry about rejection because you won't even get rejection. Like I said, they'll just delete you. But there's ways of doing them. There's ways of going about it. What can I say? No. But just like be polite. Just be like, okay, cool. Just say, do your research as well. Pick a manufacturer in a specific category. Do your research. Tell them about their products and who's selling their products and what they're doing wrong. But you get one stab at it. And guess what? You throw enough shit, some of it's going to stick. You might not get a response for 6 months from some of these people.
Yeah.
I probably dealt with, 500 manufacturers over my 20 years. And I'm talking big brands. I'm talking HTC, Nokia, Samsung, Bosch, name it. I'm not name dropping because we used to just spot deal and buy deals all around the world. That's not my focus now. But my point is there's different ways of leading in and dealing with different people and different people like things. Back in the day, so from a buyer's point of view, this is what I find really difficult, is 20 years ago, salespeople just wanted to sell. They didn't give a toss who they were selling it to. And stock would get wrote down, the marketing department would find all this money, write it down. Nowadays, they decide who they want to sell it to. It's not just a case of, you'd be thinking, oh, you could go there with 100 grand. I'm going to give you 100 grand PO. They don't care. No. It's nothing. They decide because there's a plan, there's a strategy. They can sell to anybody. You need to get that right. So what you need to do is you need to spend 12 months getting yourself profile done, getting the experience on Amazon and eBay, not whinging on about making a pound or two. Who cares if you don't make any money in a year, as long as you've got your job? What you've learned is a bloody master's. Do you know what I mean? You're not gone to college and got a degree. You've more than done a degree in what you're doing. Learn a bit about copywriting. Learn a bit about SEO. You don't need to be a master in all these things. And then guess what? Then you start employing these people later on in your career, because that's what it is. It's a career. Then you need to start thinking, Jesus Christ, got to 1 million. All I need to do is double. And then there's this. You get one good partner on board. It's easy getting a second and then a third. Get them in different sectors, because that way, let's just say you're dealing with, I don't know, felt tip pens, and that market dries up.
Is that
later on?
No joke.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because you're selling Easter eggs, and the other one you're selling, I don't know, beer. The other one you're selling, I don't know, porcelain, whatever. Mm-hmm. So let's just say you're doing 1 million in each of these, or 50k in each of these. You're covered. You've still got these running, because at the moment people are whinging because Buckaroo's sold out, but that's okay, because I'm selling Connect 4 and I'm selling Monopoly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But don't just stick to toys, consumables, clothing. In fact, clothing's a terrible one. Whatever. But it's like, but then you can, before you then start thinking about these things, then you'll start generating some cash flow, and then you'll start getting marketing money from brands and stuff. How can we help you? Before you know it, you've got your own marketing department. You're running their AMS, the cost per click. You're doing a bit of graphic design for them as well. You're adding more value. Mm-hmm. How quick can you go to market? How quick can you deliver it?
Yeah. Simple. Absolutely. And that's what we were talking about as well, going back to originally the start of this and conversations that we've had as well. People shouldn't underestimate the amount of experience and expertise that they are gathering through doing this business, and where it can potentially take you. The different type of income stream. It could take you to working exclusively as a distributor for a brand.
Well, you could end up being one of the biggest property developers out there, because your main business is generating so much cash and profit that before you know it, you're building schools or housing, nursing homes, whatever. You can then look at other things, but just focus and concentrate on the one thing.
Yeah.
If it was me starting out in R8 or picking a distributor, I'd specialize in one thing. I don't know. Alcohol's a bad example because it's not straightforward selling alcohol line, but I'd just go, do you know what? I'm going to learn all I can about who are the distributors, who are the sub-distributors, who are the manufacturers, and I would build an Excel sheet of all the sellers, and I would track them, and then I would target them. Mm-hmm. And then I would look, all these keeper charts, forget it. Why are you looking? You've got 3 units. Fucking wasting your time. Concentrate on shit like that when you've got 1,000 of the same thing. Oh, it's not selling on Amazon. Well, if you're not to put it in FBA, you could have sold it on other marketplaces. Then you get the smart asses, well, I can ship from Amazon to eBay. Yeah, it's expensive. But if it's in your bedroom, do you know what I mean? Only put it into FBA if you've got a lot. Here's another thing. Right, so you've just spent 10 grand on Buckaroo at £5 a whip. How many Buckaroos at $9.99 do I need to sell to get my initial investment back? Every single Buckaroo you sell after that is pure profit. Then people will whinge, I only made £1 on each. You made £1. You didn't lose £1. Look at each thing as a little business within the business, its own little exercise. Break it down. Where could I have improved on that little product? Maybe I'm an idiot and I've been selling it at $10.49 and I've been paying 15% Amazon fees. If I'd have sold it at $9.99, I would have made more money because I'd only be paying 8%. People make these mistakes all day long.
Mm-hmm. And then if you've got something along the lines of, say, for instance, you've got your full inventory and you manage to sell your full inventory in a month, I take it the way that you look at it, you wouldn't give, a share or you wouldn't care if you'd sold 50% at a loss, as long as you'd sold 50% at a profit, if that makes sense. As long as you're overall up at the end of that period or whatever.
So what I used to do was I'd buy some end of line job lot stock, I don't know, 1,000 pieces, right? How many of them do I need to sell at X amount to get my money back? I can sit on that stock for a year if I've got storage. Who cares? It's pure profit. Yeah, I might sell 2 a day at 30 quid, or do I sell them all in a week for £9.99 each? No, because it's cash. I've got my cash back. It's pure. That's when you start making money. Like that's when it starts clicking. That's when you're thinking. You've got to think. Anyone going into this now should be thinking, right, I want to be a 250k seller. In fact, I want to do 20 grand a month, which is 240,000.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get there? So we're now starting to think like a £50 million business. We're portraying ourselves as a £50 million business because that's our next aim. How do we become a £50 million business? Then we can start chatting shit going, oh, we want to do 100 million. All we need to do is double. I mean, Christ, it's going to be, that would be hard. But I tell you what, you get to 100 million, you can do 500 million because people will start listening and they'll be like, listen. And then you've got graphs and you've got charts and all the data and all the stuff these big people want from you and stuff. Where you're going, you get big boys on. I tell you what, you get PepsiCo on board, you're going to get I don't know, Tesla on board or whatever. It's just, and then you do it in different sectors because then you're not competing. So you're not selling Coca-Cola against Pepsi. That's another top tip. When you speak to these guys, go, look, listen, you come on board with us, and I promise you, I will not. Obviously, don't shut yourself off for the future forever. Just say at this moment, we'll only work with, we'll only work with you, Coca-Cola. You work with us. We won't work. We won't work with Pepsi or whoever, Fever Tree or whatever. Oh, great, cool. And another top tip. One of the things you need, if you think about it like this, right? So let's just say you've got MB Games on board or whatever. To you, it's a big deal. They don't know it's a big deal because you're this, like, you've got all these other brands, haven't you? But you just say, look, listen to us. You'll have a dedicated person. You do this, you do that. It won't just be another product on a pallet in the warehouse. To us, it's precious. We treat it as if your business is our business. We're one business. And that's when they start being transparent and open and honest and in integrity. And you want to see my sales figures for your products? Here you go. There you go. We give them it.
Do you tell, say, for instance, you want to get, you've got someone in your sights. Actually, let's talk about that really quickly. How do you target the next people you want to go after? Is it purely done through looking at what the competitors are selling at, or do you look at a whole new market? How do you decide who you go after?
What I do is I'll listen to what Ray Nation's saying and drink whiskey. No, I don't. We had this conversation before we came on here. I wish I could drink whiskey. I got incredibly pissed on it when I was younger. Can't even stand the smell of it. I've got these ideas of sitting there drinking bourbon, but no, I can't do that.
Just before we go on, remember that point, Mark. Yeah, they're recorded. This is going to be recorded and it's going to be on YouTube. Everyone's loving this, obviously, Mark. So this is what I'm trying to let you talk as much as possible, obviously, because no one wants to hear me talk.
If it had structure, then it would have the whole story and the journey and all this bullshit bingo. Because people want to hear, oh yeah, I started off with this and I did this and I did that and I did this and the fucking tooth fairy arrived, blah, blah, blah. No, listen, you just got to graft. Learn by my mistakes. Keep your job. Fucking, who cares if the wife's going to whinge because she can't see TV because there's all these fucking boxes in the living room. It happens. You know what I mean? It's just keep your costs low. And then you can have your little units and stuff. That's a milestone. So have that on your planner. I want to get to X, but you need to know the reason why. Because at 100K, you've made 10K. So at 10K, you're then only going to be making 8K because you're going to be spending £2,000 a month on, I don't know, whatever, your business rent, your rates. So you then need to get to 150K to get the same profit levels you was at. So set yourself these little milestones and goals, but then think, right, okay, I'm doing 100K with 20 products. So if I had 40 products, I could do 200K and so on and so on. But then I can make more money because I've already got the warehouse costs. So they're not going to increase. It is as simple as that. And I appreciate it doesn't seem like it. It seems like people are impatient because in 12 months' time seems like it's 12 months away, which it is. It's a long time away. But I tell you what, just goes like that. Yeah. We're planning.
Absolutely.
We're planning for Q4. Bore off. No one cares. So what? It's Christmas. We're going to sell more. It's more traffic to Amazon. Fucking hell. It's a no-brainer that. Or I'll get as much stock as I can in. Why? You're going to risk your stock getting held up for 2 or 3 weeks. Amazon's learned by the mistakes from last year. Good for them.
Yes,
maybe send half of it. Or maybe not even. Get involved in Q4. Selling stuff for nothing, Black Friday. Sell it in January. Because do you know what? If you've got a target in the next 12 months, and guys, this is good timing because we're nearly on the 1st of January. If you got next 12 months, I want to make 5 grand. Guess what? You've got 12 months to do it. Why do you have to do it in Q4 or Q1 or Q2? Why stress yourself out? Take your time. You've already decided you only want to do 85K and you want to make 50K.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Absolutely. Amazon's still very much there. It's still very much there in the other quarters of the year. So going back to the original question, sorry, because we went off track. How do you target who you want to go after next? So we've already established that you go after you work with big boys now. So how do you decide that?
So now I think, what am I interested in? Right. So this is bad advice, as in the early days. I think the statistic was the most successful people in business are females in the 40s who don't do what they're interested in, i.e., I like knitting. Don't open a knitting store. It's not going to work. That's the statistic. So what am I interested in? Well, we shouldn't really say this in public. I'm only joking that. But no, what I'm saying is right, you've got all what brands do I like? Oh, I like to drink Magnus cider. I tell you what, let's target them.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Target them.
Can you do that? You can do that at a smaller scale. You don't have to.
Go smaller brands.
Yeah. So what you would do is, say, for instance, you were going after Magnus cider or something like that. Then, if you were going after that, but if I wanted to do that at a smaller scale, then presumably I would look at their competitors and see who they, not their lower
competitor. I would go to things like Kickstarter.
They want to be.
Go and look at anyone who's been successful on raising money on Kickstarter. Then go to them and go, guys, listen. Yeah, you've done a successful launch. You've done this. Have you got any left? What do you mean? Well, I know you've sold like 100,000 bottles. Well, yeah, we did it. We actually did a run of 20,000. Right, okay, cool. I'll buy them off you. How about I sell them on Amazon for you? I'll give you all your sales history, all your reporting history, and then you build that relationship with them. Because guess what? They're going to keep producing that. And so long as they're making a margin, you're making a margin, and it's not their specialism, they're going to let you do it.
Yeah.
So they are competitors, but they're not competitors you've probably heard of yet.
That's what I did mean. You want to target the people that want to be them.
So yeah, then if you get a little B brand, then go after Bulmers. This is what I did for Bob. This is what I did for Doris. All right, cool. Then you can start getting excited about all your bundles and stuff that you like doing, cross-brand promotions. But honestly, there was a lot to this when you're dealing with manufacturers, a lot of strategy, and it's not just a case of buying products. There's a lot. But yeah, I mean, do that. I mean, there's lots of these little small, here's an idea. Go into one of the supermarkets tomorrow and pick a brand. Look at the brands where they don't have a huge face in. You'll probably find there's some dog food on there that's organic and vegan, and it's £3 a tin. And everything else is like 50 pence. Target them because they will listen. They probably don't have an Amazon presence. They're new. They've got a bit of cash. They're struggling for cash. They've just got into Tesco's. Tesco's is squeezing them on price. And you're going in there and saying, I can pay more. than what Tesco's pay you. And I tell you what, if I can sell it for more on Amazon, I'll pay more for the products. That there is fucking gold dust.
Wow. Guys, record that. Right, where's the timestamp? We are an hour and a half in. 1 hour 29 minutes and 45 seconds. That literally was gold. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. So yeah, that was amazing.
You know what I mean? It's just basic stuff. Man, we should do this with beer.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt Webley can do that one. It was so funny. No, Matt, when Matt introduced me to Mark, he said, because I live in Bournemouth and I live down south and everything like that. He like gave me a spoiler alert about Mark. He was like, he's really straight talking. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay, Matt. I'm not like a precious flower or anything like that whatsoever. I love straight talking people, and we've had some really funny conversations. So, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've made a lot of mistakes and I don't know everything. We're, again, test and adjust. You'll hear me say it all the time. We do that all the time. We've just launched a product for a manufacturer. So manufacturers use us to launch.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to pick up on. Because when we
Amazon, that's the point. We've got a market tomorrow. Because Amazon, they'll be like, well, how many is it sold? Well, it hasn't. It's new. Okay, cool. We'll buy them all. We'll buy them all. With your support, it's our issue. We'll work together.
Because that's the interesting thing. And I think I remember you saying this, that actually when it comes down to it, they don't want to supply Amazon. They want to supply guys like you, effectively, who will launch the product.
They want to supply both of you for different strategic reasons. You want Amazon on board. The manufacturers love Amazon. They also hate them. But you need the two. You try both, but strategically, or whatever you do in whatever industry you choose to do it in.
But there's a specific reason, which I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose. There was a specific reason that you said that they want to work with both Amazon and other people, because there's only a certain amount, believe it or not, that Amazon can do, that they are restricted.
I mean, we could be here all night.
I really don't think anyone would mind, Mark.
But basically, what you've got to think is, right, so as a merchant fulfilled seller, right, Amazon gets excited by all this, like everyone talks shit about this fucking A9 algorithm and all this bollocks, right? There must be like 1,000 things Amazon considers. One thing's a fact is, how much stock have you got in FBA? How long you been trading? Are you a good boy? And all that crap. What they also like is how fast and efficient are you as an MF seller? Because I tell you this, especially in Q4, if you can get stock out your warehouse faster than Amazon, even though Amazon's got the buy box and you're a quid dearer, they'll send the traffic to you because they ain't got the time to do it or the capacity because they're just mobbed as it is. So it's not all about Amazon wanting the buy box and copying everyone and ripping everyone off. They play the game that benefits and suits them. So that's why you shouldn't have all your stock in Amazon's warehouse. Because what did we have? The issue with COVID, right? All of a sudden, people are like, fuck Prime, not getting it next day anymore, before I've even thought about buying it. But I tell you who was winning there was the merchant fulfill guys, because Amazon was just so busy. They was giving them the buy box.
Yeah.
So everyone needs to think about having a mix. Seller Prime, merchant fulfilled, FBA, own store, eBay, whatever.
Yeah.
Why restrict yourself? I don't want to go into details too much, but we've got a lot in FBA, as you know, but we also do 50% in merchant fulfilled. But then that another kind of worms, because then you need like staff to pick and pack orders and this, that, and the other. You need people like to just put it in FBA. You need a mix. But trust me, if you're a good seller, play by the rules, Amazon will reward you.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone actually asked the question, do you know the percentage between Amazon and eBay? Yeah.
At the moment, if I go off the last week, I'd say 50-50.
Wow.
It wasn't. We're putting more emphasis back on FBA again. Because our warehouse is so full. And with COVID, we're having to like restrict how many people and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you used to make a lot more money on FBA because you jump on their shipping rules, shipping rates, but our shipping rates are so good anyway. In fact, I think it's cheaper for us to merchant fulfill some products now because obviously Amazon's had that increase and stuff because there was effectively buying business and running at a bit of loss and this, that, and the other. Their service is brilliant at the end of the day. So they need to be paid for it. They can't just keep giving stuff away for free. So I think 50-50 is a good mix, personally.
Yeah. And is that across all of your business or specific parts? Do you have?
So, yeah, I mean, some things you can't ship into FBA for whatever reasons. Could be hazmat products, Holloway hazmat warehouse, hazmat aware, blah, blah, blah. Again, boring. What you've got to think is, get your run rate in Amazon, right? I sell, I don't know, 1,000 a day of this product. Well, make sure you've got 3,000 in Amazon's warehouse. And then you're not under pressure. You're also using their storage. Mine's unlimited, but using their storage, it's cheaper than yours. So then you're not under pressure to get 3,000 units in. All you're effectively doing is topping it up. So when it drops to 2.8, send 200 in or whatever if you've got a popular line. Or there's loads of strategies and ways of doing it. Depends on your products, your niche, and various other things.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having a look at a few of the comments. Christos says, I think you pay 3K.
No chance, man. A, I ain't got the time. B, $3,000. You can go and pay one of these fucking idiots on YouTube for $3,000 and get what? Some fucking PDF presentation. I'm joking, the guys, by the way. I need to...
He's just pulling our check. No, absolutely. What I wanted to ask, obviously we're not going to go into specifics here about, but I did previously ask you this, Mark, anyway. We're not going to go into specifics, but I think this will be really interesting for people because obviously you've got staff, you've got premises, you've got warehouse, your big business kind of thing, 10 figures a year whatsoever. I'm surprised no one has asked it because it's normally the first thing people ask.
All the time.
Pardon? I
think I've already answered your question.
What is your profit?
All the time. Yeah.
I know, I'm amazed no one's actually asked this because I beforehand I said someone's going to ask it and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but you know you said you would. So but we're not going to say what Mark's doing anyway. But percentage wise, I think it would be a really good gauge for people because you have employees, you pay well, you have.
Trust me, if you can make 10% after cost, and when I say after cost, I'm talking
everything.
I mean everything. You're in a good place.
And that's paying yourself, that's paying your staff, that's paying warehouses.
Pay yourself a wage, no more, no less. You are just an employee in the business. The business is not yours. None of this fucking riding around, I'm the boss and all this crap. No, listen, you work for the business just like everybody else does. You have a wage. Do you warrant that wage? Do you know what I mean? Do you earn that wage? You might have people in your business that are earning more than you. So what? What are they bringing in? It's a job. You effectively, it's a job. The business is its own entity, and guess what? You work in it.
Mm-hmm.
It is as simple as that. So yeah, I mean, people get het up on, or like we've said before, I made £1 or I made £2. Who cares? Cash margin. What are you making a month after costs? And then you can then dig in and go, well, yeah, that's not my game. I tell you what, though, I can sell 5, I don't know, DVD players and make £50 on each a month, and that's all I need to do. And it takes an hour of my time. Great. And that's all I want to do. Okay, cool. You've got yourself an Audi A3 for nothing for 1 hour a day or 1 hour a week or whatever. It's however you want to measure it. You've got to ask yourself the question, what do I want? How much money do I want? And it's not about the money. The money will come. If you graft and you work hard, the money will come. Just get in the detail. Research. Instead of fucking about on some stupid game on Facebook, go and spend an hour researching something. Could be anything. Forget all this private label, flipping stuff. Fucking listing on, flipping from Alibaba and AliExpress to Shopify and all that crap. Don't do it. Just contact the manufacturers and say, look, listen, I'm interested in buying 1,000 of these, blah, blah, blah. What can you do it for? Don't go then putting your name on it and this, that, and the other and getting blocked on someone's AC. Sell it on eBay. Build a brand, then go on Amazon with it. When you're sure you've got the trademark and all this, that, and the other's right. Just take your time.
No, absolutely. So it's, this is something, just to reiterate, this is Mark's, this you've been doing this for 15 years and picking up from our notes as well. Actually, it's something we didn't cover, but I'll highlight it. It's actually, was it probably, I think you said it was actually really the last 3 to 5 years. That's only really when it's happened for you.
Yeah.
You know, before that, you were successful, obviously, but that's when it went. I think you actually said 3 years. That's when it went next level.
I was earning more money working for people than I am now, but that's out of choice. Because I'm investing in the business. I'm investing in stock. You know, our guys are all using 27-inch iMacs. That's not to be flash. It's because they don't go wrong and they hold half the value. Yeah, you're shelling out 2-3 grand, but I tell you what, in 5 years' time, we'll get 1,500 quid for them on eBay. That's what we do. We just don't fuck about.
Yeah. Obviously, you've got these really clear goals, and I asked you this the other day, and I'm going to ask you again now. I obviously know the answer to it, obviously, but when is enough? When do you think, is there enough? Are you going to get to a point in the business where you're going to be like, I don't want to scale this anymore. I don't want to take this any further. What's your top end?
I don't know. It's a hard one because we genuinely believe as a business, and I think this is why we get partners on board and do okays. We want everyone to earn good money.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone's earning good money, and it's a struggle, and you've got to go backwards to say, get to whatever 100 million turnover, whatever. Well, why do it? Do you need to do it? If you're earning 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, whatever, it then doesn't become about the money. Do you want to be these people flying around on jets and stuff? Because guys, you need to forget that. It's not going to happen for any of us. No one's going to be there. I mean, yeah, what is it, like 0.5%? There might be the next bloody Facebook or whatever. But be realistic. What do you want to earn and why? Well, I want to earn 100k a year because it's a comfortable life. I can have me 2.4 children, this, that, and the other, and I can live off that. But there's living and there's living. Do you want to earn 200k a year because all it does is money just buys you that bit of, and I'm not even at this stage yet because we're building a business, investing in the business, building to sell. You need to think money just buys a bit of time, doesn't it? It makes things easier. Let's go on a £5,000 holiday, then a £1,000 holiday. But guys, you shouldn't even be doing that. You should be using that money for stock. I didn't go on holidays. You know, I was too busy. I mean, that's probably a mistake as well. But when it's enough, no one knows when enough is. It just happened. But enough is when the business can function without you being there. So you can do other things. So you trust your guys. Your guys are earning good money. They love the business. They treat it as if it's their business. And you come in and you work on the structuring and the finance and the strategy and the plan, the sexy stuff, the nice stuff, the enjoyable stuff. Because you paid too much money to go down and pack orders. You've earned your right to be in the office doing your job. But never forget, you might have to go down there at 2:00 and bail them out of orders because they're just flooding in. Mm-hmm. And that's how we operate. And I'm nowhere near that level. I mean, I can now comfortably go on holiday and I would be okay. I'd be happy things are being run. But that's only just recently.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, it's like, I don't know.
I don't know, Mark. I can't see you I can't picture you on a beach for 2 weeks and, you know, being all right with it.
That's a good thing, isn't it? All you need is a phone and a laptop.
Yeah.
I've been to some places. I can't discuss it, but I was in the jungle basically, and I tell you what, I found a phone signal and I was dialed in. I was checking stuff. You know, you only need a phone and a laptop. You've got Facebook, YouTube, bloody Amazon and eBay. Never been so easy. Yeah. Just get off your ass and just buy some stock. But think smart. Use your time wisely, because honestly, it goes quick. And guys, if any of you are young, as in,
yes, this is talked about
before you have kids.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about this. I'm so glad you brought that up because we had a really long conversation about this, about what we would kind of do differently. And, you know, Mark's got a family, he's got kids and things like that. And I think that was part of the question we were talking about. You said the only thing that you could actually foresee maybe stopping you at some point is obviously the amount of time that you want to spend with your family and your kids and that type of thing. And I think most people who are parents that run businesses completely empathize with that. And it might have been Hayden actually that we were talking about this conversation, in the sense that whilst you're young, whilst you don't have a family, no excuses. Work your ass off. Get it done. Graft, build. Because when it does come to having that family, your priorities change. You know, things go out the window that you didn't think that you'd feel that way before about certain things, and you might think nothing's going to change, but it will. Absolutely. So
a supportive partner as well. I mean,
yeah,
I was at work, 12 hours a day, whatever, and Ange was, she's hobbling up to the bloody post office, getting in queue. Woman's pissed off like it is with everyone. But then you get to a certain level and they collect from you. It's all about levels and stages.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Jumanji, isn't it?
Yeah.
Progress to the next level.
Let's have, I don't know, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, on some questions then, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I kind of answered them. Do you know what? I love Callum's question because I know
what car I drive. Because I tell you what,
it's a Lambo. No.
I tell you what, whoever guesses what car I've got, right? Don't just keep firing fucking questions out, right? Answers. I'll give you you can call me up and ask me anything you want for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. Guess what car I've got, and first person to guess it.
There we go. Get a 20-minute call with Mark. Can I guess? Because I know what it is.
No,
we're on a little bit delay, so we'll wait for that to come in. Audi A3. There we go.
You only get one guess, Callum. So,
how specific are you going to be? Make and model.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go. Let's carry it. Right. Let me go back and look at some questions. So we talked about profit and everything like that. So comfortably, you're in the 10% gap. That's what you want after all said and done. 10%.
Well, no, I'd be happy with 5% if it was 100 million. Of course I would.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
You should aim for 10% after all costs, shouldn't you? Really?
Yeah. So that's what I suppose that's the answer I'm trying to get is, that 10% is a good realistic cost for people, because people get caught up in RO, but it actually means nothing at the end of the day. It's your it's your net margin at the end of the day, and that's for you is 10%, and that's what you look to get. But then that's not 10% you're going to go and spend, that you're just going to reinvest that back into the business.
Yeah, I mean, like Matt was saying, Matt Webley earlier, there comes a point where you need cash, as in, because you can only hold so much stock. When you get to that level and you've got cash there, a deal might come up. Mark, I've got this product, it's end of line, 10,000 units, pay up front, discount, you buy it. Then cash is king, but then it's no longer king because it's in stock in the warehouse. Someone asked a question, do I invest in property? I've got one little house that I rent out, and me and Matt has had this conversation, a few of us. It's not my thing. Maybe later. At the moment, Ruth Miller, bang on. That's it. Game over.
There you go, Ruth. Winner, chicken dinner.
Nice.
There we go. What would actually, I wouldn't have even remembered that, to be fair. I know you told me, but I wouldn't have remembered what it was. So there we go.
There's a reason for it. I am buying another vehicle. We do have another nicer car. But again, this is another story.
But you're a gentleman. You've given it to your wife. Yeah,
exactly. So Ruth, cool. Just
I'll contact Ruth and hook you guys up.
We'll have a Skype call or Teams call or whatever you want next week. 20 minutes, whatever. Cool.
There we go. Brilliant. I love that first little competition. That could become like a never in the buy box thing.
Coffee.
Yeah, there we go. And every time we do it, I'll give away a 23-minute call with Mark. No, I'm only joking. I won't. Right, let's go back. I think
Paul. I think I've seen Sean. Is it Sean Paul Gilbert?
Yeah, Sean.
You're right. Honestly, the thing is, right. So let's just say you've got a 100 grand house, and let's just say, I don't know, the mortgage is 60 grand, and you've got it interest only. So it's only like 120 quid a month, and you're getting 500 quid rent. Well, would you not be better off having 50 grand's worth of stock than getting 500 quid a month? So unless you've got excess cash, then and you want a passive income and it becomes true passive income, then yeah, sure, buy property, spread your money, have some property, have some I don't know, diamonds, whatever, then start spreading your money. But guys, you're thinking wrong. Just there's no money in rent property unless that's your thing and you've got enough of it. But yeah, it's
goods.
It's a hassle, distraction. And the thing is, you know what? I might even buy 10 or 20 houses in the future and rent them out and have someone deal with it. But for me, stock is king. Why would I tie money up in a house? Even if it's a buy-to-let, nowadays you've got to tie 25 grand, 25%. So you might as well have 25 grand's worth, as Sean Paul said. Is it Sean Paul, is it?
Sean.
Sure, as Sean said, yeah, you make more money on Amazon or eBay.
Yeah, absolutely. Fast moving consumer goods that you can just continually flip. And I suppose it's going back to what we were saying about the fact that until you've rinsed it to the absolute point where you can't grow anymore, why are you moving on?
Well, you might as well then rent. But for me, I just see renting property is a hassle. It bugs me when my rents are not getting paid on time. Yeah, it's a distraction. That's why I don't agree with it. I think that people should do it for passive income. I've had several in the past, but I also know people that rent these houses out. If they're cash paid for, then it's pure money coming in. But that was great when houses was increasing by 10% a year. Everyone's got their own ways of making the money, but for me, it's stock. If I've got stock to sell tomorrow, I've got stock to sell. But like you said, maybe I'll buy some houses and rent them out in the future. But for now, I'd be stealing money from the business because. So here's an example, right? So let's just say you've got, I don't know, X amount of stock in the warehouse, but you want to take on a new partner. You don't know how well that partner's going to sell their products. You might have to invest 50, 100 grand in stock to just get them off the ground and just get them running and paying up front for it and getting a discount. Well, you can't do that if you've tied that money up in 4 rentals. Yeah. That's just my way.
Is that because you think, talking about stock and things like that, is stock, fast-moving consumer goods, is that the closest you can get to liquid cash?
I think so, but you can still buy the wrong products, or you can buy fast-moving products that are no longer fast-moving.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
If it's right, if you have good customer service and you buy a product, let's just say you sell toilet roll, right? They're going to buy more toilet roll.
Mm-hmm.
Especially.
Yeah. Do you buy tried and tested products mainly, or
what?
Both? Will you buy up and coming products? Will you invest in trend?
That's what I'm telling you these guys to do.
Mm-hmm.
Be an early adopter, because guess what? If you join them in the early stages when they're struggling, don't batter them on price. Don't go in there and they're like, it's £1, and you're like, I can pay 80 pence. Pay the £1. Get the account open, get trading with them, then discuss the commercials later on. The most important thing is get the account open and get trading with them.
And I think that was part of the reason why Amazon grew in the way that it did, because when I had my very small distribution company, we had a lot of interest from Amazon. They wanted to sell our products. And you know what? I can honestly say, out of all the people that we dealt with, out of all the people that we dealt with, Amazon were the only people that came in and they were like, yeah, we'll pay sticker. We're not interested in, we'll pay your terms. We won't ask for 180 days. We won't ask for this. What your markup is, we'll pay that. They don't mess around. But at the end of it, they turned around and said, but we'll do all that. We'll agree to all of your terms, but we're going to sell it for whatever we want. And there's nothing you can say about it. So, that's that. They were very straight talking.
I specialised in contract laws. It's been mentioned before, but listen, if you're playing with the big boys, it doesn't matter what they say in that contract. Guess what? You ain't going to go to court with them, are you?
No.
Just sign it.
No, I mean, like I said, they were good as gold, and the buyers were lovely and everything like that. So they were like, no, we're not going to muck about on trying to screw you down on price. And we dealt with some really big jewelers and people like that. And they were like, and it was getting down to like, well, actually, can you take an extra 5p off that model and this and that? It was pathetic. So it was kind of a bit of a fresh air when Amazon came in and said, yeah, we'll pay whatever we want. But then I also had someone else that that at the time was one of our other partners, and they'd really been screwed over by Amazon. So we didn't end up selling to them.
I mean, what you've got to remember is these buyers within Amazon, I think the UK is a bit more notorious than other countries, is they've got KPIs and they've got measures to be measured by, just like anybody working in any job. But guys, Amazon are the good guys. I mean, hard to say that, but unfortunately they are. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for Amazon.
No, absolutely.
And
like you said to me last time, it is different level, different game. Although they treat all of their sellers exactly the same, you do get certain things that.
I mean, got these like Alison Benson. She's got to go because I'm a Celebrity's on. My wife's probably glad that I'm still at work in the office doing this because I was talking through the last one. But
yeah, you're going to get told off, Alison. You're going to get told off for going to watch I'm a Celebrity.
Shocking this. I mean, it's just going to be like 4 more years before you get me back on this show. Jeez, how many times have you spent it on Amazon? Oh, that's a complicated one. I've been suspended for not my fault, for actually Amazon's fault. But again, I can't really go into too much detail on some things. But it happens. They don't give a toss what your turnover or revenue is. You know, but as you get a bigger seller, it's easier. Everyone keeps going on about penny pinchers. Everyone's asking about penny pinchers, right? So I guess a quick thing is, guys, what do you want to know about penny pinchers? Or what's your issues? Or why do you hate them so much?
Oh, are you asking me or are you asking anyone else?
I'm reading a couple of the comments. Sorry. I mean, it's gone into a property conversation now. So, guys, I'm not an expert. If you want to speak to someone about property, speak to Matt Webley or any of these other people. Like I say, I've got a house, I rent it out, I get a rent. I'm in the process of buying another house to live in. Obviously, I was going to keep the one that I'm in and rent that out, but I've decided I'm going to sell it because I can't deal with the hassle. It's not my focus. I want the cash out of it.
There you go. Paul's just chimed in and he said he's busting to go for a wee, but he's worried what he's going to miss. So
you need to, calm that down.
There we go. Right. Callum says, do you go for exclusivity on a listing when you deal with the manufacturer? This is an interesting question.
I don't get it. Why ask for it? You're just narrowing the chance of getting it, aren't you? Yeah. I mean, if I get it, great. And there are SKUs that I do have that are pretty exclusive, but no one owns that ASIN on Amazon. So what's someone else jumping on it? Unless it's
you all invest quite a lot of time and effort and everything like that in launching other people's products, won't you? Well,
we've just launched Friday the 13th. Actually, we launched a product for a manufacturer, and I'm talking massive product. This is going to be marketing campaign. What might happen in the future is it might no longer be our products. They might give it directly to Amazon to sell. That's just how it goes sometimes, but we'll make hay while the sun shines. But then maybe we'll specialize on the bundle side of things or this, that, and the other. But the point is what a pitch. So when I go and speak to whoever, we launch brands, we launch products for manufacturers. They trust us to do it. We work together. They're like, when can you start? I mean, it's not as easy as that. I wish it was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And little details like I won't go into too much detail, so I don't want to give too much away from you, Mark, but what our level of sellers may struggle with creating certain listings and things like that. You don't have that issue because you're kind of working very closely with manufacturers.
If, for instance, you want to sell, I don't want to drink pop, but I thought I might get a sore throat with this. So you want to sell Fanta and you want to sell, got to be careful what products I pick up.
Yeah, don't pick up the lube.
And you want to sell this, I don't do lube anymore. Don't sell it. No. So say you want to sell these two products together. I would just go to the manufacturer and say, listen, I need an EAN for that product. I want a specific EAN. So that then product becomes a product in its own right. So all this buying fucking GS1 barcodes off eBay and this, that, and the other, I get the EAN from the manufacturer. Then I know I've built a revenue stream on that product. In 12 months' time, my listing's not going to get pulled down because it's an official listing. So there's another top tip.
When Mark told me that on our last conversation, my soul was literally destroyed.
Do you know what else as well? And this is hard to believe. I think Matt Webley can validate this because I'm sure I've sent him it. Again, we've even got the manufacturer's brands in our brand registry because that's how close we are and how we work. I mean, that still doesn't stop us getting blocked on these products. Again, we get the same pain, if not worse, because we've got a lot more products than people. It happens, but it's how you deal with it is the difference.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, let's go back to questions. Sorry, Alison's back. I'm a celebrity, don't start till 9:15. You're all right, Mark. There we go. Right, going back to the penny pinchers. So how do you combat it? Do you hold or are you aggressive? I think you're asking the wrong person this here. And will it come down to competing if it's within your margin? I think that was the question.
I don't care about margin. If someone's annoying me on a listing, I'll just fucking drive the price down until they either give up or I'll buy their stock. Simple. Because guess what?
You take them out no matter what. You just take them out.
You're going to cry, aren't you? Oh, God, me buckaroo, I'm selling it for £5. I paid £6 for it. So what? Don't sell it then. You don't have to get involved in it. Don't keep whinging about the penny pinchers because they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with the fact that if you wait long enough, if you don't want to deal with it, if you get frustrated, just wait for them to sell out?
At the start, listen, don't get involved. Don't cry about it. That's why I'm saying don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put it all in FBA. If you put it all in FBA, you can't sell it on eBay. You're not getting penny pinchers on eBay, are you? Make your listing better. But let's say, for instance, I've got a SKU where I sell 1,000 of a month or whatever, and someone's gone on there and he's like $14.99 or whatever, and I'm normally $19.99. I'll just buy it. Or I'll put him out. I'll let him sell it out. Then I'll wait. Mm-hmm. Or I'll just buy it. Or I'll drive his price down so it's not profitable. And guess what? He ain't going to get involved in that SKU again, is he?
No. There we go. And that's really important. That's really smart because obviously SKUs become, or ASINs become, I suppose, tainted for certain people.
Yeah, and off, doesn't it? It's like, I ain't buying that again. Everyone's buying that. But guys, if you're buying the same stuff, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Just have balls, just hang it.
They go back and revisit it 6 months later.
So what? Yeah. Put it in the loft, sell it next year. Be a strategic buyer. Buy Christmas stuff now for next year when it's whatever. If you've got the cash to do that, again, you've got to build these things up. Stephen Davis, we don't sell on our own websites.
Yeah, I know Matthew asked that earlier as well. So it's just eBay and Amazon at this stage.
We're going to start doing, but it's about focus, and we don't need to. It's our products sell so fast, so quick, and it's not our thing. What I mean, like everyone's like, I'm going to build my own website. Matt Webley is the best person to speak about this because I'm just not in touch with it anymore. You try getting traffic to your website. Mm-hmm. I know you've got to pay Amazon 15%, but if you can't cover their margin on that deal, then the deal's not worth doing. But I think you should have your own website. You should sell your own products through there organically, naturally. Maybe you'll get repeat business through there if you put in a business card in your eBay orders and this, that, and the other. However, yes, I need to do it again. It's a time thing because when I do it, it'll be banging. It'll be like, I'm not saying I'm going to spend 100 grand advertising it and marketing it, but the website will be like, whoa. But that to me is a full-time job for one or two people at our level to do it serious. And that will all around department stuff.
And that goes it back to do what you're doing, do it right, max it out, then move on to something else because you don't play at stuff. If you're going to do something, you do it.
Yeah, and just do it right. Get it right. Take your time. People are like, shit, you don't sell in Europe. Well, I've not mastered the UK yet. And then I'll pick one specific country at a time.
Yeah. Which country out of interest would you go to next?
I don't know because I'm not even thinking that. I'm not even thinking that.
Not even on your radar.
I'm thinking, which manufacturer am I going to get on next?
Yeah.
Because then if I get another, say, £1 million or £2 million revenue from another manufacturer just selling in the UK, guess what? Let's get another manufacturer just for the UK. And the manufacturers and the distributors will like the fact that you're not selling the product out of the UK, causing all this grey market issue and all this other stuff. Another top tip. Don't go fucking saying how great you are. I can sell in all countries because that ain't what they want to know.
No. Oh my God, the golden
news. I don't want to talk about software today because I don't want to go pushing anyone, and I'm doing trials and stuff and developing some software. I don't convert Amazon listings to eBay. We treat them as individuals. Parcel to go, fucking why build their business? You want to be using the courier.
Which courier do you use? I take it all of them.
No, we use UPS and Royal Mail. We will be doing Amazon Logistics soon. We're not at the moment because we're doing some testing and stuff. Yeah, that ain't gonna work, is it? Do I have any favorite tools and software? Yes. And guys, if you can't be asked to register on this thing and just coming up as Facebook user, then that's no good. I like to know who I'm talking to. Do I use promote listings and cost per click and all that? Like, guys, we spend this year we spent 500,000 on AMS marketing, but guess what? I claimed it back from the manufacturer. We'll talk about that another time.
In 4 years, when Mark's coming back.
Soon.
Guys, you know I'm going to get Mark back before that. You know I am.
Right, going back to penny pinchers, Callum. How do you combat it? Do you hold or aggressive? Yeah, we covered that. It depends on the product. I mean, sometimes I'll just let them sell out, or I'll just see, guys, here's a top tip, right? Probably all know it, but so you can restrict. I mean, it depends. I mean, if you've only got 1 or 2 units, but literally we have thousands of the same products, I can restrict. There's 2 ways of looking at this. So do you know when people go add to basket 999, they can see how many people's. So if you go to pretend you're going to buy someone's product and add it to basket, then go 999. Most of you know this. It'll tell you how many units they've got in stock. If they've got 3, I'll just let them sell them. If they say they've got 326, then I'll drive it down. Or depends on what the run rate is. Or what I might do is I'll just restrict my maximum order quantity in Amazon, then people can't see how many I've got. But my software does some of this. And if I'm honest with you, I'll let people know I've got 5,000 units. Then they'll just piss off.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think when you're a bigger seller,
I like it. I think Focky's got a lot of stock to sell.
And they stay away from you. Absolutely. So you would want them to know. Obviously, anyone that's got BuyBook Pro, they show you the stock levels on that anyway as well.
Unless you block it like we do. On some SKUs. So, Alison, you've got 8 minutes. You best get your rockers on.
Just having a look. Right.
You have, again.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Yeah, Matt says you'll definitely be back. I'd love to have you back on, Mark, definitely. Christos has said, and this is what I was going to kind of ask you anyway when we were asking about the future goals, end game. Where's the point you're going to kind of go out, which you're never going to.
People, I know it bugs Matt. I don't know. Do you know what it is? I'm fucking great at giving people advice and not taking my own and saying you should do this.
Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that.
But I genuinely, I've kind of met my obligation to my wife by, without going into detail, you know. So we're moving out. It's something we said we was going to do. It's my kind of way of saying, look, listen, thanks for putting up with the long hours and this and that and the other. Tick in the box. Do you know, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what the next thing is. We're really happy doing what we're doing. We've got some great support. We've got some great partners, business partners. And the aim is just to make sure that everyone earns more money, but has fun doing it and enjoys the job. And, you know, whatever. It's just then try and get that. We can talk shit again about everyone has this bullshit bingo. Let's talk about work-life balance and all that crap. Yes, it would be nice to not do so many hours. Yes, it would be nice to go back to working from home because I'm going to be living a bit further from the business premises. But these are all if, buts, and maybes. And do you know what it is? If you love your job, then you're not working, are you? So why stop doing it?
No, absolutely.
You look at the business and you go, what would I change? So everyone keeps going on about, well, buy some rentals and this, that, and the other. If it's working, then let it carry on working.
Yeah.
Because why would you then all of a sudden go, okay, so you've made X amount of money, I'm going to go and buy 10 houses and rent them out. What happens if you don't start getting the rent, or you're struggling for stock, but you've tied all your money up on that, and that's not your thing? You've then let slip of what your focus was and your aim was. Do I have a 5? I ask everyone all the time, what's your 5-year plan? I ain't got one at the minute. I'm writing on it. I'm working on it. I mean, it'd be nice to get some kind of mentor or something, maybe. That's something we touched on before. Yeah. Guys, you need help. You need people.
Yeah, and that's what you are. By the way, Luke, I'm going to come back and answer your question in a minute about eBay, but I just want to keep this on track here at this second, because that's the thing, you know, you said that you regretted most, or one of the things that you regretted most is that it probably took you a bit longer to get where you were because you didn't have a mentor. You didn't have.
Yeah, so there's two things. One of the biggest mistakes I've done at one point was everything is self-funded, apart from this 250 quid, because there'll be some smart fuckers out there that'll say you borrowed 250 quid, right? But the point is I've just, I mean, there's been times where maybe I should have borrowed 500k. But then does that put my house at risk in this, that, and the other? I mean, that's a whole different thing. But sometimes, guys, you just need to borrow money. If it's a cash flow reason and it's not, you're not throwing good money after bad, you know, keep your business going because you've got a lower fare, because you've had this business for 10 years. Guess what? If it's not working, bin it off, start again. Don't keep throwing good money after bad. But if you need cash to buy stock, to make money with, and there's loads of circles offer money. There's PayPal, there's Amazon. Do you know what it is? We've not borrowed any, and that's been a big mistake. Restricted as that has, but we've done things in a slower, and I am risk. I will take risks. You know, I will invest, and you know, I'm not saying I'm a high risk investor or whatever else, but I believe in myself and my products and my systems and my processes. But I probably could have got there quicker if I'd have borrowed money. Could have probably got there quicker if I didn't think I fucking knew it all, and I maybe had some people. But I have been surrounded by some very successful people that are now coming to me for advice. Because guess what? They're old school. Yeah, you sold your business for 100 million, but they don't know how to sell on Amazon. And they're now coming into this e-com and eBay age and Facebook ads and all this stuff that goes with it. And I'm not saying I'm whoever out there, but I know how to sell on Amazon. I know how to sell on eBay.
So has that changed your mindset now? You didn't used to borrow money.
I've not borrowed any money yet.
But you will in the future. Well,
maybe. Maybe I'll get it another way. I don't know. I've not figured it out yet. But then again, I'm happy and that we're at the level we're at. Now we're trying to, what you've also got to think is, at one point, you didn't have anything to lose. When you get to a certain revenue, you've got it to lose. So you've got to maintain it and build on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to start then, fucking, where's Webley? He's hiding around somewhere. You need cash for stock, spending money elsewhere. Agree.
And that's a really good point, because once you get to a certain level, I presume you don't, how's the best way to put it? You don't maybe worry about losing it, but you worry about having to maintain it, as in you have to push yourself to get more and more.
Well, you've got to turn over. If your calculations are right, let's just say you make 10 grand for every 100 grand, there gets a point where you need to do 500,000 just to break even.
Exactly.
You've built these premises, and as my finance director says, it's a beast. This beast needs feeding, because them costs, they're there every month. So you need to do X amount just to break even. So you've gone from turning over 1 million, making 100k, to having to make, say, I don't know, I'll make figures up, 50 grand a month just to stay open. It's another one of them things. So you need to find out, what do you want? How do you want to do it? What's the maximum?
Yeah.
Can you only spend an hour a day doing RA because you've got 5 kids and that's your little hobby? But guess what? That hobby is paying for you to go out with the girls on a Saturday night for free. There's no like Billy Big Balls or shit. It's just what you want. To me, it's a job. This now is not a business. It's a job. I come to work. I do my job like everyone else in the business. And we're going to grow it together, and naturally or organically or with investment. Who knows? But it's like, how do you... But again, this is the story. It's just, who knows what they want? You've done things the hard way.
Well, no, absolutely. I think that's the one key I wanted to get across to you. Working out, not get across to you, Mark, but obviously for you to get across to everyone else, because I had a conversation with you. I'm really lucky. Obviously, I get to do this. I've spent some time with Mark. I've had conversations with Mark, and you told me something really profound last week that I actually think is going to change my direction in what I'm going to be doing. And that was just having, a conversation with you about what we were going to say on here. And, we didn't prepare on here, but obviously we wanted to make sure we talked about, what everyone wanted to hear. But like I said, it's just those little things, and working out. It really comes down to, I just can't stress this enough. What do you want? That's what it comes down to. And then once you work that out, I think then it becomes so much easier.
Maybe if I had help, I could figure that out. But I'm focused in on getting a few key people in specific departments, so makes the business run easier. Everyone's grinding that bit less. Everyone's earning that bit more money, and then we'll see how it goes. But I don't have a plan.
Yeah. Let me answer Luke's question.
Next question.
It was about eBay. Luke, you might have to put it again. I'm really sorry. He copied and pasted it about 4 times. Thoughts on promoted listings on eBay. Is it worth it? What percentage? What do you do?
Matt knows my financial situation. He can do one. It's just he's drinking. I think I don't know.
He must be.
I've got to drive home. Unfortunately, I could have ran home or walked home or whatever. Right. Sorry. Say that again. I get
now. Right. The question, I think it was about promotional listings on eBay. So here we go. Do you use promoted listings? And if so, what percentages do you like? Has success with low percentages? Wondering if it makes a difference to increase the percentage at sale.
Right. So I have a guy who looks after eBay. I'm not saying I'm the best on eBay, but I was on a very long call with eBay today. So promoted listings, we do. Again, it's a different game. So we've had banners on the front page of eBay. I can't even tell you the pain of what that costs. So promote. The answer is they work if it's the right product and the offers the right price. It's all about traffic, time of the month, time of the day, what it is. I mean, a compelling offer to me is a 400 quid camcorder for 150 quid. Selling a 12 pack of Fanta for 9 quid instead of 12 quid. It's not an offer. There's some garbage offers on there. But what is fucking good about eBay is cost per click. Because guess what? You only pay on conversion. So fucking hammer it. That's what I think. Do you know what I mean? On Amazon, you burn through cash. Yeah. On eBay, you only convert. So put your money on that. So, for instance, I don't know, if you're and you should have everything set at minimum 2% sponsored ads, minimum. And you're only paying for it if it's converting. So whatever that 2% is, 20 pence, 50 pence, a pound, whatever of your retail price, if that margin's within your sell price, let's say it costs you 50 pence to sell it via click-through, but there's a pound in it, well, do it. Because what you're then going to do is you're going to make your products rank, be more important to eBay because you're selling a lot more. And then naturally, you can then start reducing that cost per click spend down to 2%. That's what we do. If we want to get a listing to the top in Amazon, we'll batter it. And I mean batter it. I'll pay £1 for someone to buy something and I'll lose 10 pence on it. But guess what? It's top of search. And then when that's got 300-400 sales on it, switch it off. No one's coming nowhere near that SKU. And they ain't got the balls to spend that kind of money on promoting a product. But then I'm going to get that money back over the next 4 to 6 weeks by selling it organically and using that margin I invested in the product, if that makes sense.
It doesn't to me, but I trust you.
Does that make any sense, Luke, or not?
Yeah, let us know, Luke. Manish, Mark's already answered that. So you don't do your own products at the moment, but it's something you're going to be going into, but only when you've got the time or you've got someone to be able to do it.
You need to do the whole piece, trademark. Well, yeah, Luke said that does. But again, if anyone needs any kind of clarification on some of that stuff, then we'll speak to it. There was another question I see on there I like to answer. Are you thinking of selling your business in that couple of years? Nah, why would I give up my income? Maybe I might do a deal with someone on something else. But guys, build to sell, really interesting for me. Why don't you look at building segments of your business and selling segments off and not the whole business? Why would you chop your arm off that feeds you?
That was Mo that asked that, by the way. Steve says, what specifically do you do? I don't think he's going to go into that level of detail, Steve. But it is, I don't know, wholesale at a large scale?
Nah. Manufacturers.
So, direct from source.
Big fuckers, yeah.
Brilliant. Right, let's have a quick look. I'm just trying to see if there. So Sean says you've done things the hard way by the sounds of it.
I've not done it the hard way. Yes and no. It's a hard one. I mean, let's put it this way. I've took risks still to get it. I mean, I fucking quit a job at the end of the day. But it was a calculated and maybe a bit slower, but shit, we've still done a lot in a short space of time is what most people have done. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, maybe I could have gone to an angel investor and said, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm good at. I need this. Why? There'll come a point where you will take investment in your business and business partners that are fucking bigger and better than you, and you'll learn from each other. That's when you're at that 8-figure salary revenue. Fuck, I'd love that as a salary.
Yeah, imagine.
How many IP coins have I had? Fucking loads. Even though I'm the brand owner. So go figure. What specifically do you do, please? Yeah, it's about strategy and testing, adjusting, and tactics. But people can't get past. Why would I spend 50 pence on promoted listing and then only make 50p? Because 50p is better than no p.
Yeah.
And if you've got 1,000 of them, adds up, doesn't it? So then what you do is you go, right, okay, I reckon if I spend 20 quid on promoting it, then reduce it. You'll then figure out you probably average 37 pence.
Yeah.
So you probably average out 87 pence instead of £1 when you look at that average. That's what it's all about. It's a numbers game.
Yeah, definitely.
But eBay's awesome. Cost per click. Christ. I wish Amazon did that. I'll tell you what, I'd spend millions.
Do you see
You can't lose.
Obviously, I mean, I don't know if you can ever really say someone's untouchable, but do you see a resurgence from eBay? Do you think there's going to be a big resurgence from eBay from
I think everything in life goes around in circles.
Yeah.
And I think that's happening with eBay now.
Yeah.
There's not really love Amazon. I love Amazon. You know, everyone does. Everyone keeps whinging about. Everyone always looks at the negatives, right? Always the negatives. It's boring. You're wasting time on the group. You're making yourself look like a dick, right? Just everything goes on in circles. Amazon's great. What you've got to think is how much money did you make on Amazon last year?
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. It's a ready-made marketplace. Type anything you like, and Amazon is probably at the top of search. Some politics there for that. So why are you going to go and spend 100 grand building your own website? Unless you've got a niche and a following and plenty of repeat customers and you rank high in Google, but you're spending your time in areas that you're not an expert at. You can jump on anyone's acing tomorrow and you're live and you're beating them on the buy box. Like that. Then start doing them other things.
Yeah. I like this one from Stephen. I was going to ask this, but maybe not specifically. But he said, if you were to start again, apart from getting mentored, what strategy would you choose if you had 5k?
So, as in, I mean, things I do and do again are two different things. So, if doing the same thing, if I only had 5 grand,
yeah,
is that the question?
No, I think the question is if you were to start again. So. Going back 15 years.
No account, no Amazon account, just 5 grand, but knowing what I know now.
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to clarify. I'm going to have to clarify that. Okay, let me ask you. Then we'll come back to that question about starting again. We'll get Steve to re-clarify that. What would you do differently?
I don't think I would do much things differently. I'd maybe recruit sooner.
Yeah.
Massively.
Because you said that your staff has been an integral part of your success. And
my wife, and just you know, like, I've got some good guys. I've got some fucking nuggets as well. Don't get me wrong. If you're listening, they won't be because they don't know about this. But they're all good, though. They're all good. They just need molding. We're pretty brutal here as well. You probably can't believe that, but Really? It is. No, it's good. Everyone has a good crack. You know, we're professional. We want to be like a relaxed. You see all this Facebook and Google type environment. We don't want to be like that, but we want to be like that. But we want to be slick and professional. But guys, you're at work more than you are at home. Enjoy it. I mean, we've got a nice kitchen. You know, fucking Doris does bacon sandwiches and stuff, whatever. It's an okay place to work, and they get paid well. That's the key thing. Because an extra 50p, £1.50 an hour. Guess what? It's worth it. You lose that recruiting people or downtime and stuff. You want people skipping into work and stuff, but you want to treat them with the same respect. We have pizza at the end of the month on a Friday, and we do all that kind of crap as well, and it's just good. But you still have your challenges.
No, absolutely. I think the thing with staff, and that's what we've always done, and I know we had this conversation anyway, but we've always had staff that work for us, and we've always retained staff as long as you treat them well. And we never pay minimum wage. We never pay minimum wage.
None of that. Because my guys came to me and said, look, this new contract, I'm like, yeah, is it going to be 0 hours? I'm like, no, why? Why would it be? Oh, well, it was at my last work. And I'm like, well, listen, 0 hour contracts is not going to get you a mortgage, is it? They're like, no. I say, but guess what? If there's no work, there's no work. That's me being upfront. Do you know, as in, I'm not going to piss you about. It's just as simple as that. Everybody should have a contract, in my opinion, with their hours. But however, if the business is struggling, then it's struggling. It's just normal business then at the end of the day. But you need to have your staff have trust in you. And what we're now trying to do is we're now trying to recruit people from far afield, the best of the best. We want to be a place where people are dying to work here, and we pay good money, and people are relocating to come and work with us. And we want guys that are fucking superstars. Like, we think we know Amazon. There's guys out there that know Amazon. I know one guy in particular, if he's fucking listening, he's like massive on, he works for a sportswear brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this firm's, I don't know, maybe 100 million. And I coached him 10 years ago and pushed him to go for this job. He's been there 10 years now. He's getting bored. I'm like, come and join us. Because he knows he was all about this. Where do people click on the screen and stuff on websites before people even thought about that? And he's what you need to be as an adopter. You need to learn these things and get in with them and all the new techniques. This guy's all over that, and he'll build a team for that. So we'll then do, as well as selling these brands and buying from them, we'll market them, we'll do their AMS for them, we'll do the graphic design, the web design, the fucking Facebook adverts, whatever. That's then another business within the business.
See, that's the funny thing, Mark, when you said about that you haven't really got this kind of direction where you go, but I think you have.
We've got an idea, yeah. I mean, everyone does need a Doris. I call everyone Doris.
Don't call me Doris. Whatever you do.
No, right. No, work to it. How many people? Doris is a cool name.
So can we just go back to Steve's question about, he clarified. So going back, if you had 5K and if you have your like arbitrage knowledge, like your OA, your RA knowledge.
Well, I'd just buy stock.
Yeah, you just flip.
I'd just buy as much stock as I could. I wouldn't whack it all into FBA. I'd merchant fulfill it so I can control it. And I would just, I mean, I don't know what the strategy would be. Would I spend $2,500 on one key product and that makes £1, or would I go for higher? I don't know. I would just, I mean, people go on about this. I'm not buying something unless I can make a tenner on it, or I can buy it for £1 and sell it for 10. Guys, them things don't happen all day, every day. Then they're quick wins. Go for simple stuff. I don't know. People are buying a lot of, I see on the group, people are buying things like, I don't know, toothpaste. Well, guess what? Everyone's buying toothpaste. You might only make 50 pence, but guess what? You can always keep getting the same products, and your Excel sheet you've built with all your margin. I'd just do stuff like that. I'd probably go for the FMCG type products.
Yeah.
I'd look at expiry dates and things like that, and I would just concentrate on that one product, and I'd keep my job, and I'd keep building it up, and then I'd buy more of it. Then I'd buy mouthwash as well as toothpaste, and maybe I'd do a mouthwash and a toothpaste bundle, and then maybe I'd do 2 toothpaste and a mouthwash. Then maybe I'd do a toothbrush, mouthwash, and toothpaste.
Absolutely. So that's your plan, really. Rinse what you got, build it up till there's nothing left more to rinse, then move on to something else.
How many people work for you? 18 on the books, including myself. Do you offer staff sick pay yearly? What? Well, let's put it this way. If you're sick and you are sick, then you get paid. If you got a kids play, go. No one fucking cares. just stay back half an hour if you want. It's big boys rules in our place. Look after people because it goes a long way.
Callum's asked this about 4 times, bless him.
No, Callum, I don't have the time. I'm very expensive. I'm only joking. No, genuinely, no. Because I'd be stealing time from my people, and my people need mentoring, and they need time. And yeah, I mean, I've been offered money, but we're growing a business. It's not about money. I want to help people. I like helping people, and I do help in the group, and I answer a few questions. But it's not just me saying I'm so like important and busy. We are busy. I mean, I started work at 7 o'clock this morning, so I'm trying to buy a house. I'm just busy. And the thing is, we've got great facilities here. We've got a training room, we've got a boardroom, we've got a nice warehouse, we've got lots of offices. It's a cool place. But no, Callum, can't see it.
Ash says, can he come work for you?
If he changes his name to Doris, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Only Doris is welcome. But you know what? Cool. Maybe you could open up the premises for the day. That would be cool if you could.
Yeah, we could do that. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe like that.
Fast moving consumer goods. Adironke.
Yeah. Fast moving consumer goods. Yeah. So the
unit is big.
You're not going to get much more than that.
Don't get head up on the detail. How many pallets have you got? How much do you make? What's your revenue? What's your margin? How many SKUs have you got? What's your top 10? No one cares. It's a big unit. I need bigger, but I'm going to manage as long as I can. And I know the thing is, we've had this conversation before. It's really hard to measure anything success. So people put money behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I put ease of my job behind it now. Do you know what I mean? Costs me a bit of money, and I'm so tight, and it's hard. Nat knows about this. I'll think nothing of going and buying some storage containers or some new iMacs for the training room, but I won't. I just utilize what you've got, because you're not. If you think you are, you're not utilizing it as much as you can. Anything you won't sell, Callum. You've asked that a couple of times now, so it's going down so quick. There's not much I haven't sold, because without going into details, but I've dealt with most manufacturers, retailers, wholesalers. But I mean, nothing I won't sell. At the moment, I don't really want to sell high-end consumer electronics because they go wrong.
Yeah.
You could buy them and they lose money so quick. If you're not selling it fast enough, it's all technology and this, that, and the other. But we can talk about niches in the future, and I've made good money by selling old discontinued products. That's something you should look into. But I think everyone needs to kind of set their goals, how they're going to get to it and why.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
Good question from Matthew. Do you have a number 2? Do you have someone who runs things for you? I know you've got an FD. I know you've got financial director.
No, I've got a general manager now. I've got a acting general manager who's just good for the shit I don't want to do anymore, and as in I'm too busy because I get not frustrated, but I get sidetracked, and I've now got a warehouse manager who deals with that, because that's the biggest part of our business. There's 10 people in the warehouse, and that's great. He only started 2 weeks ago, and this guy is amazing. I mean, already I feel relaxed just because of that. But that's another step in our chain, and another up the ladder, and more investment. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're getting in place. We're starting to put more structure in place in. We're trying to act like a £50 million business.
Yeah.
So
what do you foresee will be your biggest investments in the next 12 months? Stock or people?
Well, stock, you only buy stock when you need it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can sell it. People, yeah, we're going to increase our stock levels, and we're going to increase our staff. So we're probably going to make less money
mm-hmm.
in the short term, but that's gonna springboard us to the next ladder. It's going to make my life easier, less hours, So it's about getting people to do specific jobs. Don't get involved in, do you know, I mean, my eBay guys now, I've got somebody who just looks after deals for all the manufacturers and on all the platforms and so forth. That's a full-time job. I don't even, so long as they liaise with the buy-in and liaise with the warehouse, can we get the stock in? Can we handle the capacity? I mean, that's another thing, guys, that when you speak to distributors and manufacturers, if you've not got a unit, they're going to go, hang on a minute, you're saying you can do this, that, and the other. How? Can you physically pack 1,000 orders? So you need to be like, oh, well, Bob works for us. And do you know what I mean? It's because it's true. Doris, yeah, Doris is good. But what you've got to think, listen, at the end of the day, right, if you land somebody and you get 1,000 orders, you're going to pack through the night, aren't you? If you have to.
Absolutely.
You're going to get up early. So I've just got a new manufacturer. I told you who that was. Can't say who it is. But there was one thing they asked me, and I just said, yeah, our system can do that. Didn't know whether it could or not, but I'd make it happen because some of these big boys, they take a few months to sign up. That's something you've got to be careful of.
You said the latest one, the whole contract and the process, was it 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months. And is that 6 months of toing and froing, or is that 6 months of not knowing if you're even going to get it?
You deal with like multi-billion-pound firms. That's just how it is. It goes through their legals. It's a whole different thing. So that's why you pick a small manufacturer. Them tips I gave earlier about like picking a pet food or whatever off. So a particular pet food brand's probably going to get loads of emails tomorrow from, I don't know, Debbie Smith 57 at whatever. But it's true, guys. I'm telling you. Oh. In fact, what it is, I probably wouldn't even. I'd do R8 and OA with my 5K, and then I'd be starting to target some small brands.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I would do.
Absolutely, because you have got to come to that point where volume scaling can only be achieved through volume to a certain extent.
So everyone asking where my accent's from.
Yeah, they're desperate to know where you're from.
Yeah, I mean, like, have a stab, guys, but you won't get it.
Yeah,
like you will. I mean, some people have been okay. Some people's been quite good. I don't really have a regional accent because I've kind of.
Well, I don't know. You've got an accent.
Traveling everywhere, but I'm currently in the northeast. I'm from Yorkshire originally, but I also lived in Scotland for 7 years. So yeah, I'm from the northeast. Well, yeah. No, I live in the northeast.
Live in the northeast right now. One question I wanted to go back and ask, actually, I think it was Mo that asked this, actually. I think, apologies if it wasn't, but you mentioned that you do healthcare products, currently applying for a GSL license. Have you got experience on that?
A GSL license. So there's like different licenses to look at. So is that, whoever's asking that question, looking at selling Steve Robinson, no. Is that what kind is it? Are we talking about supplements, or are we talking about, because there's two sides to look at this. Yes, we are. Whereabouts, Steve Robinson? So we there's MHRA registration as well, which you might as well go down the route of as well. Yes, I have experience. I can try and help. I would say pay somebody to help you with that, because I do now, but I can. But even like having an alcohol license is a bit of a nightmare as well. But guys, it makes you more valuable to these people. You've got it. I mean, I'm even looking at all this ISO registration, all this, that, and the other now. Just employ someone to do it all, because there will be manufacturers we go after. They require certain criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah. So medicines is there's different types of medicines. So things like Gaviscon, as an example. Somebody asked me the question about Gaviscon on the forum. You have to be MHRA approved to some extent, temperature controlled and all this nonsense. But if you think about it, you can just buy it off the shelf in the supermarket. So it's grey area, but go ahead and get it. Target them people, because you know what? If it's a little bit complicated and it costs £1,000 or 1,500 quid to do or whatever, not everybody's going to be doing it.
Yeah. You're narrowing down who they can approach and who they want to work with, essentially.
Yeah, but don't initially just go for someone who wholesales socks. It's easier to sell socks than it is medicines, isn't it? And you're in a whole different ball game. You need like a legal department, or you can put you under. You can make a mistake. You sell someone that something's expired or it's been commingled with somebody else's stock, you're just opening yourself for a lawsuit straight away. And what's the point? Make a pound on selling jars of jam rather than medicine. It's my advice.
That's an interesting point, actually, because I think we all know this. Everyone knows this that's probably watching this. Where's that point? There is a point where you can make more money buying from Tesco's than you can from a wholesaler. That, you know, the same product.
Yeah, because this is the thing.
Off point. Where's the point where you say, right, okay, now I need to change. It has to be direct from source.
So I can promise you this now. When you do buy from source, you'll be like, oh shit, how are these people still selling this product? Oh, it's cheaper in Asda. Well, so what? It's sometimes this. You're buying from the manufacturer, and yeah, it is sometimes. I mean, there's some Amazon products that we sell at the minute. Amazon's selling them far cheaper than what we can buy them for. Don't mean to say they're buying them cheaper, though, does it?
No, they're like loss leading.
It's a promotion. They might get a kickback. They might get rebates. They might get advertising spend, or they might just be making more money on another product and the margin mixing. That's something I like to do.
Margin mixing. Yeah. That's what it's called. Wow. I love that.
That's what I call it.
Yeah. Margin mix. And you get right. I guarantee this. I'll guarantee you this, Mark. In 6 months' time, there'll be loads of people on different YouTube things and Facebook.
All that shit, yeah.
You will hear the term margin mixing. I absolutely guarantee it.
Average costing, whatever you want to call it. Do I commingle? No, I don't commingle. Never. There's too many dirty, bad sellers out there. I don't commingle stock. Why would you? You don't have to. I don't advise it.
Absolutely. Well, we have been on this call for, well, we're nearly approaching 2.5 hours. And do you know what? This is one of the highest retention for amount of people. Obviously, once it got to 9:15 and I'm a celebrity, everyone, you know, we had a few drop-offs there. Can't compete with Ant and Dec.
Richie, am I? That's the problem.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm happy to wrap it up at 10 o'clock. So if there's any like fast questions, quick questions, then cool. I mean, me and Matt was on a call a couple of months ago. It felt like 15 minutes. Fucking hell. It was
you and I did what, nearly
fucking people queuing out my door for stuff. My foot, everything. Like, I need this, need that. But yeah. You've got to invest your time wisely, eh?
No, you're so generous with your time, Mark. You really are. I really appreciate it because, yeah, I know you've given me a lot of time, so I really do appreciate it. So, yeah, what revenue did you move into your warehouse?
Well, it wasn't, right? It was first thing I did was I built a massive shed, right? Then it come to the point where I couldn't be having fucking Arctics backing down the road any longer and handballing pallets off the this is the truth, right? So then I got like a little office, which is probably the size of my office within my building now. But guys, I don't use my office apart from things like this. I've actually got a desk on the shop floor, on the main office for all the other guys, because there's only one way of learning is if you're all together, things are bouncing off this side and the other. I come in here if I need a bit of peace and quiet, or for things like this, very rare. So I took an office, then I took another office because it was kind of like I wasn't having a lot of stuff delivered and I was turning it around quick. And then I got a unit, then I got a second unit, then a third, then a fourth, then another. And I had like 5 or 6 places on this business startup site. And they're like, Mark, listen, you can't take over the whole site. And I'm like, and it was expensive to do that, these little combined like office and units. And realistically, that was after about 2 years. After then having all this shared office and little units, another 18 months, and then bang into here, month. Simple as that. And we knew when we took this place on, it was going to be too small, but we wanted all our shit in one sock, so to speak. So they were all in the one offices and warehouse and our own yard combined. Yeah. So yeah, but just do it as long as you need to. Don't do it. Do a million pounds. Be a bedroom bandit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've definitely got a lot of shed bandits on here as well. That's how me and Matt actually started out with our distribution company. We built a big shed in the garden.
I've got 10 storage containers now in my yard, because what I put in there is things like, we'll buy specific boxes for our FBA products. I've just bought to get the best price possible again, and as you get a bit of cash is king, so Matt would say. So I can buy a year's worth of one specific box to get it for 50 pence rather than 90 pence. But I'm not going to store them in my warehouse and take up premium space. We put them in storage containers in our yard, all secure and everything. Makes sense. So yeah, I've spent £2,000 on a storage container, but it's going to be worth £2,000 next year, if not more, because of the way steel's going and containers. But guess what? It's paid for itself, because if I'd have had to store it externally, so then all these other things become available to you as you get that bit more revenue and bit more margin. That's what I'm saying. You can hang in as long as you can.
So all of a sudden, we've had loads of questions come through there.
Increase your workload first. Yeah, so we've made that mistake before. What we'll do is we'll struggle, and it'd be a case of where warehouse office staff are downstairs packing orders until we're sure we're going to take someone on. There's no point taking someone on and then having to get rid of them after a month because you wasn't constantly busy, or you think you're busier than what you are. And then you're finding stuff for them to do. Just keep keen and like lean as best you can. So what we tend to do is we would think, right, okay, so 2 guys from the office are having to go down, help orders for say 2-3 hours a day. And then it gets to that point, well, if I took on one person, my office people are then back focusing on their job. Yes, we do need somebody else. But then look at the KPIs. Is everyone like pulling the weight? Other than packing out less because the office staff are going to come down and help bail them out. So we look at how many orders can be packed per hour, and all these things we take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd ask you this earlier, but I actually don't know if you actually specifically answered that. Callum said that when you first started, at what point did you realise that you were going to grow to this level?
I don't know, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And you were doing 8 figures or close? You were on your way to 8 figures by then?
Nah. I was doing about 5 mil.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
So that's 7. Okay, so it's still, you're doing 5 million. And at that point, that's when you think, right, okay, this is
when this can be a £50 million business.
Wow.
Within whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah, Callum, you've got 4 or 5 years at it. Do you think the likes of buy from Argos, Tesco's will become harder? Well, guys, you're asking, you know the answers to the questions. What you've got to think is it's not Argos not wanting to sell you 15 buckaroos. The manufacturers are saying, don't do it, because they've got reasons for it. So you've got 4 or 5 years. But there'll always be R8 and OA because there's always opportunities. Not every manufacturer or store. You're going to start seeing, everyone's like doom and gloom. Argos is shutting down, this, that, and the other. There'll be other stores that'll start opening up. Yeah. There's other products, other manufacturers.
We spoke about this earlier.
There'll always be OA and RA, but you're going to have to do better. But you'll make more money as well. You'll make more money because you're not doing the same as what everyone's doing.
No, absolutely. As long as you can buy something for less and sell it for more, that's online or retail arbitrage at the end of the day. Probably more online, but it's arbitrage when it comes down to it. Sean wants to know if you rent or do you buy your warehouses?
Again, it depends, but we own the building that we're in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But you've got to think, if this building's empty, you're liable for the business rates. So let's say this building's not big enough for you. So I think sometimes for short term, you're better off renting. Because at the end of the day, right, if you're in a 5-year lease and it's not working, the business is not working, you're out that lease, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, get this out your head as well. People keep saying, like, oh, I'm just funding, I'm buying someone else's warehouse for them. Well, so what? You're not. It's just another overhead. It's just another cost. You then got to think, is it worth putting down 30%, 50% deposit to buy a warehouse, or do I rent a warehouse and buy more stock? Because once you've put that money into your SIP to buy it, or however you're buying it, that money's gone. Another way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it.
Definitely look at it in different ways.
Or Paul's just mentioned something. Yeah, if you buy your business premises and then you sell your business in the future, or you buy the business premises personally, you can then rent the business back to you, or you can rent it to the new owners. But there's always a flip side to every good thing, that it could become empty and you've got to pay £2,500 a month business rates for an empty business.
Yeah. Always a different perspective, always a different way to look at something, most definitely. So Stephen's question, do you intend to increase your workload first? I think you answered that one, didn't you?
Yeah. Steve Robinson, is there a specific turnover? Why not talk about turnover? If they ask you, tell them. Or make some shit up, or be part of a bigger group. But turnover doesn't mean anything, does it? But it's about capacity and scope with these guys. Let's not get hung up on what my turnover is. This is what I can do. I can ship out, 100,000 orders from this warehouse, is what I'd be saying to them, within 13 hours. That's what they want to know. Can you handle the growth? If they start spending money on marketing, can you deal with it? There's no point saying you can pack 1,000 orders a day if it's just you and your wife or Doris or whatever. But you're like, yeah, well, obviously there's how many works there? 5. Get your sister-in-law, your niece, whatever. Get them in.
You can always, I completely agree with that. If you need to, you can always call on people, and people generally, in my experience, will always come and help you out.
Yeah, Adam, is there ever a concern with how volatile Amazon can be? Of always is. I mean, of course, everyone's worried about Amazon. Do you know what it is? There's too much of this. Oh, Amazon suspended me. They've usually suspended you for a reason, because you've not played the game, or you've had the warnings, or you've done this, or you've done that. It's always Amazon's fault, isn't it? Whenever you speak to anybody, it's not nothing I've done or could have done. 9 times out of 10. Yes, the bots do make these mistakes and things happen, but yeah, it's a concern for everybody. So don't have your eggs all in one basket. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Callum just said thoughts about the big boys kind of moving onto the platforms themselves. Any thoughts?
Most of the manufacturers I deal with sell on Amazon through Amazon themselves, but they can't do what I do. They might want to buy me one day. Build to sell. But yeah, add value. Add value. Can they move as fast as what you can? No, because these big boys, right, believe it or not, they don't get e-com at what we do, as in us as a group on this chat. The manufacturers, the supply, the grocers, that's their focus. They're 5 years behind e-com, so you get in there now.
Do you know what, actually, I don't often listen to people like this, but I remember once I did watch that Gary Vaynerchuk, and I say that because that means I don't watch him that often, and he specifically spoke about that. Actually, he was talking about Facebook ads, I think ages and ages ago, and he was saying that the difference is, if he was like someone who runs Coca-Cola or something like that, he's not going to ask someone who's working in Coke to run the Facebook stuff. He's going to find someone, he's going to do it, and he's going to get someone in that's doing it at that level.
All these manufacturers use all these external agencies, and a lot of them are just dog turds. They're just terrible. So I'm gonna build my own, AMS marketing in-house Facebook ads team, and it'll be a big team. I've got an office ready for it. And when we won't just be buying the product from them, we'll be running their ad campaigns and everything else. We're making ourselves more valuable with these manufacturers. So Callum, when did you get out of the habit of sitting there refreshing your sales throughout the day, asking for a friend? Never.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet you don't. I tell you what, the funny thing is.
Never. Honestly, right? I'm getting better. I'll literally jump in the car if it'll start. No, and seriously, as soon as I get in, I'll check. What the fuck has changed in 5 minutes? Nothing. But do you know what I mean?
Market probably has changed a lot for you.
Yeah, it has. But my point is just guys, keep keep your finger in. That's the thing, isn't it? It's like, honestly, yeah. I mean, I'm not as bad. It's a nightmare. I'd walk downstairs and I mean, I know a guy, right, who he just sits in his desk. He's one of these, I'm the boss, it's my business, right? And that's why he's struggling, because he just sits there refreshing orders coming in. And then, right, at 6 o'clock, be 100 orders on the system. There shouldn't be any, because he could have packed them. But no, he's not going to pack orders, is he? Because he's the boss. Do you know what I mean? But guess what? If you've got a customer who buys something at 6:10 and Royal Mail's not collected till 6:30, and they get it at 9 o'clock the next day because they just happen, just by chance, they're on the first run, fuck, they think do you know what I mean? They're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And
you said that
live by that to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people do that as smart things with prep. If you've still got, I can't speak, 3 hours. If you've still got stuff coming in, add it to the prep, get it out. Don't wait for your next prep run, whatever, just get it out of your system.
It's on their insurance. It's on the way.
Going back to Callum's point about sitting and refreshing on the sales, I suppose when you wake up in the morning, you probably look at your sales and like overnight or whatever is probably what you wake up to is probably what most Amazon sellers go to bed to.
So what we take, right, between, say, I don't know, let's just say 8 in the morning and 5 o'clock at night, we will double through the night.
Yeah, it's funny because I know we had this conversation.
Like, a lot of us don't have that, but we do.
Yeah, it's crazy. We do not sell overnight. It's crazy. I wake up, whereas every other business that I've done that has involved in selling physical products, there has always been a certain level of sales overnight. But with Amazon, hardly anything. And it was so interesting. You're one of the first people that I'd spoke to that had said, you have extensive sales overnight. And I find it impossible to believe that no one is shopping on Amazon overnight.
Well, I can look at my figures, right? No, now the routine's better. I'll get in on an evening, I'll jump in the shower, have my dinner, and then we'll watch a box set or whatever, yeah. And I'll have a quick look on my phone. And you can look at your figures and be disappointed, but wake up in the morning using the app that's part of the software I use and be like, wow, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It can go from like, oh, it's been okay to be, Jesus, better than, because we do quite a lot, and we don't know what it's going to be, but it's really good. And guys, you can't beat making money when you sleep, can you?
No, absolutely. Would you share what you do? What do you take on like a day in Q4?
Again, Q4 doesn't make much difference to me.
No, so it's quite consistent. Okay.
Traffic, we have 60 grand days.
So yesterday, he's going to go look.
No, they're not going to like. So
I'm just curious.
2 cents. £63,374.39
in a day.
One day.
In one day.
Overheads and a lot of work. 50% through FBA. In fact, 2 seconds. No,
that's just Amazon, obviously, isn't it? So that's not eBay as well.
That's so £2,778 of that was eBay, because it's on so 60 of it, give or take, was Amazon, because we've got other eBay accounts that are not tracked, but on this software they're tracked. So that eBay account, that eBay account there on that is a trial account. What we're doing is, well, I'll be honest with you, this is something that the manufacturers are going to like. They're going to want you to have an eBay account dedicated for them. They're not going to want to see any other brands or any other manufacturers on there, because that's their baby with you. Do you know, if you've got like a store and cost per click and all this, that, and the other, and when you're claiming money back from them and stuff. So that's something to consider. That a lot of manufacturers, if you're dealing with Coca-Cola, Pepsi's not going to want to deal with you, are they? But maybe they would under another limited company name, with another Amazon account and another eBay account. So it's another business within your business. If you read between the lines.
Dedication.
Yeah. We don't do 60 grand every day, guys. It's normally 100. No, I'm joking.
He's not joking.
He's not joking. We've got some promotions running and deals of the day and all that kind of nonsense, But
I think you're being a little bit modest there, Mark. Definitely. Right, guys, it's coming up to 10 o'clock, and if your guys' head isn't hurting, mine is.
Yeah, whoever that lassie was as well, I forget the name. Natalie, if you just hook us up that call
with
we'll do.
I will sort you guys out. That's very generous of you, Mark. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I hope everybody's kind of learned something, but it's not. It's just, again, I like this because it's just a general chit chat, isn't it?
Absolutely. It was never going to be. We didn't want it to be structured. It was never. Well, I actually think it was quite structured in the sense that everything that I think these guys, hopefully I asked everything that you guys would have asked if you were in this position to be able to answer that. And Mark's answered a ton of your questions.
Probably must have really good stuff out as well. So maybe you need a little structure, but I think you just you end up playing the bullshit bingo, don't you, and stuff. But
absolutely.
Great. Obviously, I'm in for a bollocking when I get in 10 o'clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Do not.
I like to bought my dinner here because she said, "Are you going to do this from the house or are you going to do it from home?" And I thought, I don't want. I'll do it from here. So
it's a sensible decision. When we're about half an hour in, I could hear my kids screaming in the background. You guys couldn't hear it, but I could. So it's always good to get away from the office if you can. So lots of lovely comments there. I'll let you. I'm not going to read them out, but I'll let you go back through and you can read some of the comments. Everyone's really appreciated it. Thank you so much for your time this evening, Mark. It has been a revelation. I told you guys this was going to be good. So anyone that didn't heed my warning and didn't watch this live tonight, God, you have missed out. Absolutely. But, you can watch it on the replay anyway as well.
Yeah, thanks for joining in. Hope everyone's learned something.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they have. Even if they take away, Doris, Bedroom Bandits, margin mixing, we've had...
Honestly, asking if they can follow me on social media and all this, that, and the other, guys. I don't do it.
No.
I don't have time for it. I really, honestly, this is not my thing. I hate the camera. I mean, I know I'm so good looking and everything else, but no, genuinely, it's just not my thing. We kind of.
We had to persuade you to do. I had to persuade you to do this, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, it took a while, but I'm glad I did it. I mean, I like helping people, but just pass it forward, guys. That's what I say.
Absolutely. I'll hook you and Ruth up definitely as well for that. Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Everyone's really, really enjoyed it. We really appreciate your time. We know you're a busy guy. We definitely got you in trouble with Ange, so apologies for that. But thank you so much for your time tonight. Replays going to be on YouTube. I know a lot of people are going to watch it back quite a few times. I think I'm going to need a day off tomorrow because my head is absolutely banging.
We've not even covered half of it. I'd say this is 10%.
I think 10% is incredibly generous. I reckon about 0.5% that you've covered, Mark. I know the extent of your knowledge and, just some of the things you were talking about with the GSL licenses, things like that. All that little stuff that people wouldn't even know kind of exists.
You've done it. You know about it. It's off the cuff. It's not scripted. And that's the thing I'll say to anybody out here is just be good at what you do. Learn your thing, and that's your thing. Don't worry about GCSEs and all this, that, and the other. If you're at a certain age, but you can be good at stuff in other ways. And if you're talking about the stuff you do, you live and you breathe it, then it just is natural, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what Never Mind the Buy Box has always been about. It's casual, it's not scripted, it's not formatted or anything. It's just two people chatting or three people chatting or whatever. And, guys, we've got some more amazing guests that will be coming up over the next few weeks as well. So I'm not going to keep saying it, but thanks once again, Mark. Really appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Everyone's loved you tonight. And just been absolutely fantastic. So take care, everyone, tonight. Stay safe, and we will see you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Excellent.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.